Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games. I cannot believe they announced Fez 2.
I can.
Chris Wolfhard.
Fez, like the hat?
And Dr. Aggro.
Please stop bullying executives.
Here on GigaBoots.
Hey, Aggro, you should play Fez.
That's what people tell me, but that makes it like a 50-50. Because when people tell me that on the internet with that kind of desperate fascination, it's either a game I'll actually like or they want me to join them in the poison brain swamp.
You have to play this. Aren't you the guy who said Sonic Underground was the best Sonic animated show? That's not important. It is completely irrelevant. This is an attack on my character. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big Think Dimension. Chris Wolfhard has been replaced by Giant Gray Square.
Oh, no, what happened to him?
No, yeah, what happened? Where am I?
There he is. Okay.
Whoa! There we go.
What I learned from your Fez stream is that Aggro should play Fez, and I should never play Fez because it is anathemic to everything I am as a person.
I definitely want to play Fez now.
I will solve whatever fucked up puzzle you want as long as the parameters of it are clear to me. When you get into this fucking solve my cipher with information outside the game, hope you had a capture card to take screenshot shit. I'm out. It's over. I'm leaving.
Pulling up the store.
Yeah, it is there. It has a lot of that deranged energy Animal Well has, but goes way farther, it feels like.
Aggro, let me just explain it in simple terms. Imagine you played through Animal Well, and at no point did an overly punitive encounter make you retread 9 rooms, and you just got to solve the fucking puzzle. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I really enjoyed our time with Fez. We were completely blind on it, like, did you?
No,
I didn't know any.
I played the literal first 10 minutes when it came out.
Yeah.
Because I think that was the demo or something on Xbox Live.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I didn't really know anything other than I know that one insanely late game puzzle has no actual solution that was ever provided in any meaningful way. That's all I knew. That is not important, though, to beating the game at all, or even seemingly beating the game 200% completion, is what people were saying. It really, truly is just, you could find yourself in this puzzle room and then spend forever going, I cannot determine.
I'm going to kill myself because I can't figure out what they want.
I think we ended up getting about 70% or 140% of what was in the game, maybe a little bit more. It was a great time. I enjoyed it. It's unfortunate that I got under 5 hours of sleep, and that resulted in me mistranscribing one symbol in one room the incorrect way in the same room. Bob miraculously, accidentally, not even brute force, because that implies an intention, unlocked the super puzzle of the game, of the entire game. He was just looking around the room, and it just goes, boom, you got it. And we go, what?
It's like, yeah, you translate this to binary, then hexadecimal,
and then ASCII, right?
Yeah.
You did that so that way you could get. No,
I hit buttons.
I was looking.
Bob looking up from a solve the Rubik's Cube. What now?
I think, and I said this many times throughout that stream, I think if I was Phil Fish, I would be incensed that I was put on the same pedestal as Jonathan Flo.
Oh yeah, even seeing that game and being like, nobody, like, never ever I would get nothing from this game but frustration. I'm like, yeah, this is so much obviously a game that is real and stands the test of time more than fucking Braid or Super Meat Boy. Like, I'm sorry, Edward McMillan. I think that's your fucking name.
Edmund.
Super Meat Boy, like, when was the last time anybody fucking thought about Super Meat Boy other than this conversation? This specific context, even, of Indie Game the movie. It's been a while.
I'm Dan Video Games, so of course I have talked about Super Meat Boy at least a dozen times this year going, is now? Is this now? No? Okay, we'll cover the other two first. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it still comes up in my mind because there's things like Celeste and other things that feel inspired by it. Of like that, we went super hardcore platforming.
Can we just give it to Celeste because Celeste is a real game?
Let's have a fun exercise here. Man, the Animal Well inspired by Fez. Celeste inspired by Super Meat Boy. Wait, where's Braids?
David Cage. I'm trying to think, like, what would be? I guess it would maybe be shit like Valiant Heart, that Ubisoft narrative one that uses the UbiArt engine, where you're the dog in World War I, and it's like very mopey. Like that's the closest thing to like emotional platformer I can think of.
I feel like even that's like that's more like Limbo.
Right, that's more like yeah, Limbo is way more hitting it on the emotional, because there's no like in Limbo there are puzzly things, but Braid feels more like, look at my brilliant puzzle, and it's like, maybe don't use the B word. Come up with a different word.
Well, I said this off content once, but I really need you and Bob to play Eversion on stream to just see how hard that mogs Braid.
Eversion.
I looked it up last time you mentioned this, and it has left my mind again already.
This game looks fake.
Yeah, it was a freeware game in 2008, and then it came out on Steam a couple of years later. It was a pretty popular indie darling for a little while because it is like platformer but fucked up.
Oh yes. This one with this art style. Yeah, I looked this up last time you were mentioning it. It's not hard to beat Braid.
No,
it is. If there's one thing I've learned, that is it. Yeah, I had a great time with Fez. Really did. I know there was a comment and a couple maybe like one other comment in the fan Discord where I think people thought, like, they were like, oh, Dr. Aggro would love Fez, and the implication is they aren't sure if we would, like Bob and I.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised.
No, it was a great time. As it turns out, I like solving puzzles. I don't like being killed by a ghost dog and having to retread 9 rooms. It's pretty simple.
I was sitting on my couch like, like they're playing Fez. I should watch that. And then part of my brain went, do not watch Dan and Bob play a puzzle game.
Right.
What were we talking? Of course, during that stream, we're cracking jokes about this exact thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're just going insane, and then you're outside the window screaming.
Another nice thing about Fez is it has music all the time.
Oh, yeah. It's really good music, too. I think it was Disaster Piece did the soundtrack. It was really, really good. Anime Well, definitely a lot more low-key on the soundtrack. A lot of it's ambient noise. Some of it is the Twin Peaks. We're doing the dramatic stab as we go to commercial or end the scene.
Yeah, end the episode on this usually.
Yeah.
You just have to literally look at a photo of Laura Palmer whenever you pick up a telephone in that game.
Yeah, it's true. That's just what you're actually doing. Behind the phone is the fucking thing. So I think it's inevitable then that we have to play Super Meat Boy. And I think before playing it that it will just land squarely in between Fez and Braid. Fez and Bread. Oh my god, that would be so funny if somebody went out of their way during 8th gen to make Fez and Bread.
Yeah.
And they're both just clearly knocked off. That would be delightful. This is like, here's my pretentious Mario-like with puzzle. That'd be so good. Yeah, I assume Super Meat Boy is going to land square in the middle, Bob.
Yeah, probably. It'll probably be fine.
Yeah,
I played a bit of Super Meat Boy. And
fine. I feel like if anything, it'll be like, okay, I've eaten enough. Why is there still so much left?
Yeah, that's one of the things where I played it. I was like, I played through like a lot of levels, but I'm done. Like, I didn't feel a need to beat the game at any point.
I wonder, like, Super Meat Boy clearly in the same indie era as N++.
Yeah.
And N+.
Yeah.
So then what is the major distinction between them that isn't aesthetic? Is it just how much wall kicking there is?
They do tend to have gimmicks like this is Buzzsaw World. The levels have more buzzsaws and
does N+
like
not evolve like that over the course of the game?
I don't know. I haven't played N+.
Okay. I only played a little.
Yeah, that's another one of those I played a bit of, like, when it came out.
Yeah,
so
I played a
years
little
ago.
bit of it. It's the same with I always get In Plus mixed up with fucking Dust Force.
That's fair. Game feel wise, they kind of end up in the same space. Aesthetically, could not be more different, but
Yeah, I remember being really hyped for Dust Force, and then I just kind of didn't play much of it. I think it just had another thing of like, yeah, these levels aren't interesting enough to keep me going.
yeah. I remember Dust Force had a lot of hype coming in, and then people liked it somewhat, and then it disappeared pretty quick. That's how it felt.
Yeah, I have no memory of this game.
Yeah, that's understandable. So if I were to rank them, I'd probably put Fez at easily a 9. Braid at a fucking 3. Like a 4.
Yeah,
it's
2.
really far.
Braid is trash.
It's fucking terrible. Yeah, it is
There's
really,
like no
really far down
redeemable
there.
part of it to either. It's like, what if the art was bad, the music was bad, every idea was bad, and also it looked like bad Mario.
And it's incredibly pretentious.
Yeah, it's like, cool.
Yeah, no, that really is. But then here's the thing. Here's why I have a problem giving it like a 2, right? That puts it maybe, possibly too close to Yick. Yick, the king of ones.
Yeah, no, the king of. Yeah.
You know how Hueco Mundo has a king? So does 1 out of 10. And his name's Alex Yickman. He sits across atop his bone throne and goes, I didn't really have a plan. I was just hanging out here, and I was going to have these two groups of people kill each other because I'm fucking bored. And then he would be morally right to do it by the end of the game.
No matter how many scenes he has to add.
And more and more scenes keep making their way back into that episode of Hueco Mundo. Yico Mundo. Anyway, Fez is great. I actually heartily recommend anyone who likes solving puzzles to just check out Fez. It's super affordable and it's on like everything. That shit was on the Vita. That's fucking crazy. I assume it's on the Switch, but I don't actually know it's on the Switch.
Yeah.
It would be funny as shit if it was on the Vita and not the Switch, though.
We did run into some weird glitches with our PS4 version on PS5.
Yeah, it crashed like 3 times, and by crash we mean cut to black and didn't do anything.
Yeah, every time it broke exactly like that was I exited a room and I brought up the map, and I think those two actions being that close to each other broke it.
Yeah, so maybe that port's a little banged up, or maybe the original is like that.
Unclear.
I think this would have been absolutely deranged to play when it first came out because there is QR code shit.
Oh yeah, there was many times playing this.
That's insane.
That I was like, if we didn't have the modern technology of like screenshotting on the modern systems and stuff like that, this would be unplayable. Playing this on the 360 would be maddening. And also, a lot of stuff is like super small text. I hope you're close, or super small imagery on the screen. So I hope you're close to the screen and have a good TV, a good enough one to see these symbols.
I need to check if I had a smartphone by the time Fez came out, because
I remember. I guess that the modern re-releases of that game fixed the horrible progress at annihilating bug that Phil Fish said I won't fix it because it costs money to patch the game on Xbox. Because I don't know if they still do, but that was back when it's like, you're dropping 50 large to patch your game, bro.
Yeah, no, that was really rough times.
Fun fact, no. I didn't have a smartphone worth a shit. Like I had a thing I was pretending was a smartphone until 6 months after this came out. So I wouldn't have been able to do dick all with the QR codes.
Yeah.
Just for anyone's frame of reference, 2012. It came out in April 2012. And I got a smartphone, I think, a year before you.
Oh, you got many years. Yeah. I was super late in getting a smartphone.
It's true. I think you were my last friend to get a smartphone. I think so. I think that's pretty easily the case. Yeah, anyway, but aside from the QR code thing, which nowadays is a lot more solvable, like even your garbage tier Android is going to be able to do something with a QR code. And there's probably a way, if you have a capture set up, to feed it into your computer and then tell it to do stuff with the QR code. Should be doable. Should be doable. Even still, I think some of the lamest puzzles are like,
oh yeah,
it's a QR code.
Yeah, though those are insanely lame.
They usually aren't built that much out.
No, it's like there's the QR code.
Oh, let me own a smartphone, and then there's the cool. But then
at the time that would have been a really experiential gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like 3 or 4, I think, something like that. It wasn't nonstop, but it was there enough for me to be like, come on, you can do better.
Are the QR puzzles mandatory?
Technically, no. This is made like all great collectathons ever. You can just get what you want. Like there's enough extra where you can get from the extra and skip any of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could have ended the stream 5 hours in.
Yeah.
We had enough shit to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, wouldn't it be funny to just see how far we can take this? And it turns out we could take it exactly as far as the solution with no solution. The puzzle with no actual solution in the game. Bob accidentally bashing out a thing. Me discovering I transcribed a thing wrong hours earlier. And then we went, I don't want to walk into each new room. Because basically in the game Fez, you have cubes and anti-cubes. Anti-cubes are the hardest fuck ones, generally. Mm-hmm. And the cubes are the basic ones. And you basically only need half of the shit in the game.
Right.
So yeah, we could have ended it an hour ahead of the how long to beat, but it was way funnier to just be like, this is a great time. I kind of just want to keep going. This is good.
Yeah, we were finding lots of new areries and seeing new entire like art
gimmicks
styles and gimmicks.
Right, that's what I was going to say too. Gimmicks and aesthetics. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like really cool stuff. Fresh the whole way through. Isn't Braid like a fifth as long as this?
Yeah.
I don't remember. All I remember is Braid is pretty stale the whole way. I enjoyed this a lot. I wish I enjoyed Animal Well as much as I enjoyed this. The one thing I can say for Animal Well is it has a very different aesthetic. It looks like a microcomputer game from hell, and I really do appreciate that. If anyone enjoyed Animal Well, I really think you should also give Fez a chance.
Right, it's kind of like go play your roots.
Yeah,
because it's obviously very directly inspired.
Yeah, it's clearly got to be inspiring that, and taps into the same enjoyment of solving a puzzle and observing a puzzle. Highly recommended. We had a great time this week because we streamed Fez, right? Mm-hmm. And then we were like, oh, good, we're done streaming for a while. I guess I'll catch up on Unicorn Overlord, and then after like 17 years, they released the fucking DS Castlevanias from their chamber on the Nintendo DS.
Mm.
It took so long.
So long.
I have literally wanted nothing more for so long. And they're free now.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, we need to not pretend these aren't some of the best Metroidvanias ever made.
Yeah.
No,
they are.
I see people being like, I'm sure that there have been hundreds of these kind of games released since, but these are great in my heart. It's like, no, these are still some of the best.
No, motherfucker, you listen. The only reason we didn't get better from here is because they marched the entire team that made it out into the Arctic wilderness and put a bullet in between each of their eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so elated. Like, most of the reason I ever wanted a DS consolizer was just to play these games.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're on everything.
And they look nicer.
Yeah, they look exceptional.
Like they obviously rendering at higher resolutions and stuff because like the 3D backgrounds look really nice now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so nice to see it so crisp and so awesome, and oh my god. So we had to death stream Order of Ecclesia.
Mm-hmm. Which is the longest of these, so we're clear.
Just so we're clear, and we got the real ending. We did like 95.6%
something like
on the map coverage of the entire game. It was a good time. Order of Ecclesia is damn good. Now, if we could just get a brain in that girl.
Right, the story is a little rough. A little thin, a little rough.
Don't worry, chat. This isn't normal misogyny. She had her brain wiped. Is the plot of the game This isn't we wrote a bad female character. This is we took an industrial magnet to her brain.
Yeah, we wiped her brain and emotions completely.
But man, legitimately, that game is so great except for the story. Also, when you look at stuff like Dawn of Sorrow, you can see the environments are a lot more expensively custom, but it is a geographically smaller game.
Yeah.
Order of Ecclesia is fucking enormous. There are like 3 palette swaps of multiple of the locations, and spoilers.
Okay.
You go to Dracula's castle at the end. Whoa! That's a whole other thing.
Oh fuck.
That's a whole other thing.
How do you do it? How do you spoil it like this?
So, I'm sorry. I should have told you that you go to Dracula's castle in a Castlevania game. But yeah, legitimately, it's like fucking massive, and then you hit that. So it's like so much. There's so much going on there.
Yeah, I love how much there is in that final castle. Like, it feels like really big.
Yeah, it has a lot of variety in there. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like the money you turn back on for that.
And the cool thing about an Order of Ecclesia compared to Dawn of Sorrow and Portrait of Ruin is it really feels like this is the challenge-heavy one. It's one of the hardest ones. It is the combat is a lot of you planning your equipment around whether you're mage or physical and aiming your attribute to line up to what they're weak to. So a lot of boss fights will begin with you quickly testing multiple elements or weapon types. In this game, your we're going to use PlayStation terminology. Your square and triangle are both attacks, one for each hand, and you can set your glyphs to be both. There's a union attack that fuses them, and you can get really interesting combinations out of that. Not that we did on our playthrough until the end when some chat member was like, remember thing? And I went, yes, I actually knew about that thing before I even got to Dracula on my playthrough way back in the day. Why the fuck did I forget that? It's the funniest thing in this game. Anyway, it's a really fucking cool game. It is absolutely awesome that this thing is like so combat heavy and so different. That's what I love about the Igavanias. Each one tries to innovate and do a very different thing from each other, except Dawn of Sorrow. That's why I gave it so much shit back in the day. I am slowly forgiving it. It gets better in my Steam as time goes. Because all I had to do was, okay, Dan, I know you're upset and you don't think Dawn of Sorrow is good. Now compare it to other Metroidvanias. And I went, oh, wait, 1 second. Oh, this game's good, actually. One moment. That's really it, though. Like, all of these, like all the Game Boy Advance ones, all the DS ones, they have different feel, they have different ideas, and they're going in crazy different directions. Like, Portrait of Ruin has input commands to do dodge rolls.
Yes.
You go from up all the way to left doing the long way, the 270-degree turn, and then hit jump or something, or the command button, and then he just dodge rolls with iframes through enemies.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That game is cracked out. Anyways, Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, imminent streams. No doubt, there's no way we get out of October without streaming those. Because Halloween's spooky. But unfortunately, it has to get pushed back a little bit. We don't get to do that this Friday.
That'd be too nice.
That'd be too nice. Timer-chan's looking weak. I'm going in for the kill. So we have to do an enormous stream of a terrible video game that people will go, ha, I'm so glad you're playing this. How funny. And then their brains will melt and they'll have to leave for medical assistance.
No one would come watch us play a terrible game, Dan.
Bob,
oh wait, that's all they ever want.
Bob, no, like, there's terrible. And then there's watching paint dry and hearing the sound of an MRI machine. And that's what Sonicals Chronicles is, which is what we are streaming tomorrow.
You're so, man, I'm so happy that you're going to eat crow on saying Yick is the worst RPG ever made.
This is the only competition, and I don't know if it can beat it. I don't know.
Oh, it's you, Bob, you're not ready.
It depends on how Ken Pendersy the plot is, because I feel like there's a level where even I will be like, there can be, we can have two queens.
Problems Yick has.
Uh-huh.
Yick is a game?
I wouldn't go that far. I really wouldn't. Those
areas,
RPG encounters are
it
so
has
bad.
areas and RPG encounters. It isn't. You remember when you were a kid, like 3, and your room had one of those rugs with like roads on it and like a town, and you took your little toy.
Okay,
That's every area in Sonic Chronicles.
It is true. It is true.
We'll see. It might be preferable to what you had.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to know whether or not Sonic Chronicles manages to eke out the true worst game we've ever streamed.
Or at least worst RPG.
Well, the exit RPG.
Yeah.
Is there something
it's gonna have
worse?
to try real hard to beat 12 minutes.
12 minutes is bad. It's not as bad as Yik.
Yik is like a king of terrible game.
I'm trying to think.
It's repugnant in so many ways. It's like no part of you is good.
Yeah, there's.
No, the medium was better.
Vampire Rain?
It's really funny because people's thing used to be like, you always say you played a new worst game, and I'm like, no, we hit the bottom. We're good now.
Yeah,
we were exploring, and wouldn't you know, we found new nations. We found rogue islands out there with terrible diseases on them.
Yeah, it's not like you play the worst game you've ever played every week. There's usually several months between them. It's not like you're out here like Office Space going, so you know, each day is literally the worst day of my life.
I think what broke their minds is when we did actually do it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
that's when it started. That's what
was that? Earthworm Jim to Vampire Rain? Was it like that? Earthworm Jim 3D to Vampire Rain? That was a really fucking dire bear.
It was something like that for sure.
It was one of those games was the new worst. I assume Earthworm Jim 3D because holy shit, what a rotten fucking collectathon.
Yeah, but then it has the funniest ending of any game in human history.
Funny is a funny word to describe that.
It is funny because no one involved with it even considered how it would be viewed 30 years later.
Of course. No, Superman 64 was like better than Earthworm Jim 3D.
No, by the end of that, I was like enjoying it in some ways, some sick, twisted ways.
Bob's like, it's
people are suggesting
Ride
to Hell. Ride to Hell, chat. Ride to Hell's good.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
That was
like Ride to Hell is the best bad game ever made. They should re-release it somehow.
If there was a game for us to redo from the Demon Pit, that might be it. Either that or out of complete just disregard for my own well-being, Vampire Rain, like just some part of that makes me go, I should play the other version.
Oh my god!
Does that have like the mental illness you're getting? It was like, well, now I know the solution to all these levels.
Yes, that happened. Easy. That happened by the end of that stream.
Why don't you just play fucking Banjo-Tooie, Dan? Because it's right there. It's a game designed for that.
Because
it's gonna have a PC decompilation, so you can get it running. You can get it running on the 4090. You can hack dog shit ray tracing into it and make it look really fake. Man, imagine Banjo-Tooie with ray tracing. I'm actually kind of stunned. I kind of want to see that now.
Yeah, me too. The Cloud Kingdom would look amazing, and we might engage with it. Because wasn't that the one where we saved enough, keep moving?
Yeah, I think so. That one would probably be blinding. Because it was just all the brightest colors on the palette.
Yeah.
Like they had no one holding them back.
That's true. A lot of these RTX things just end up in a zone where it's like, did you know grass is actually irradiant green? Like it's all nuclear? Well, Vampire Rain's like a third the length. That's why. Like if you know what you're doing in Vampire Rain, it's like 6 hours maybe. Maybe. Chat's now talking about Super Mario Sunshine Eclipse or Super Mario Eclipse. Yeah, no, I saw the trailer for that. It looked really cool. A thing I never expected.
What's that? Some attempt to make Super Mario Sunshine good?
They made a whole different game. Like they're all new levels, and you can also play as Mario, Luigi, and Piantissimo, which is everyone's favorite character. Right, Bob?
No.
Oh.
I'm not even considering that.
Okay, so I don't know if this is a thing that's true or is something that the internet made up, because I've seen images of it, but even that could be fake. That underneath his helmet, he's the postman from Ocarina of Time.
I don't know if that's real,
Huh.
I also heard that around. I don't know if that's real either. Everyone in chat is saying that's real. Oh my god. Oh, so we have to
Like
kill
it's
him.
like it's not even a higher fidelity face. It's literally just his head.
Cool. And if you take off Pyramid's head's Pyramid, it's the dog. Yeah, I don't play Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. If you're listening to this podcast, buy that DS collection. Do it.
Yeah, all of those are good games. If you haven't touched them, you have 3 incredible games.
We envy you. I wish I could play those for the first time again.
Right? Those are...
Yeah, unlike the Game Boy Advance ones, all 3 of the DS ones are pretty solid. I don't think anybody should ever play Circle of the Moon. Circle of the Moon and Harmony of Dissonance were rough in some places. Especially Circle of the Moon, where at the end it kind of becomes, okay, this is a hallway full of 12 night guys that take half your health and hit. It's like, do you have any level design? No.
Hey, look, they didn't know how to cleverly get you across that giant chunk of the castle. So
and then Harmony of Dissonance, like, what do you got, Harmony of Dissonance? We got a lot of Z-shaped rooms.
It's true.
It does.
They're doing the Mega Man C room.
Mm-hmm. But it's okay. You move super fast because you're a weirdo.
That's true. I find the combat really interesting and engaging in Harmony of Dissonance. I need to do another playthrough. Did I ever? I feel like I had to have platinumed that collection.
Right.
The question is, how long will I take to platinum this collection? Sonic Month is right there, and we're starting it early technically by trying to play Sonicals Chronicles outside of it.
Remove it from the contingency.
I played Haunted
Castle Revisited. Yeah. How is it?
It's neat. It's a neat Castlevania type thing. I don't really know if it has multiple routes or anything. I just played through it once. It's fine.
It's fine.
I would rather play literally any other Classicvania ever.
Yeah, I also played the first stage. I was like, this seems neat. It's cool that you did this.
I think I would rather play Adventure Rebirth.
What about Adventure 1? How slow do you want to walk? How much screen tearing do you want?
I did beat that game when that collection came out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No, I don't think I'd rather play that one.
They're
pretty close.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, it's neat. It's just not.
No, it's
like
terrible.
They didn't drop a new secret Classicvania. Like that is not what happened.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped a neat add-on to a collection that is kind of shaped like one of those.
Yeah, because I mean, it is the arcade version, but just really spruced up, right?
Did the levels get more complicated? Because the first stage is super simplistic.
It's all pretty simple and easy.
Okay, so it's probably is trying to mimic the arcade
it doesn't even
layout.
kill you. It doesn't even kill you if you fall down a hole.
Okay, I definitely want to try that out. Just because Haunted Castle is rotten.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. I want to see how that goes. That's a new Castlevania game. We might have to re-rank Castlevanias at some point.
Oh my god.
Legendary Castlevania.
Wait until they fuck up and release the roguelike, and then we can I said this on Twitter, but now that they've released this collection, I only have to be mad for a little bit once they fuck up and are like, here's our new Castlevania, it's a roguelike.
No,
it doesn't have any of the things you like about a Castlevania game in it. Everybody tricked us into thinking that this is the only thing retro style games can be now.
Since those Dead Cells guys that came out that they were making the Prince of Persia game
thing,
I've been relieved. I was like,
I was also unbelievably relieved when that came out. Like, thank God, at least we know that maybe it isn't a roguelike.
Right. There's the slightest bit of hope.
So here's the weird thing, Bob. We did rank Otomedius excellent for the Castlevania ranking video, which means this time we have to rank Dead Cells with the Castlevania DLC.
Doesn't that also mean you have to play V Rising?
And also Vampire Survivors?
Do you have to play Vampires? Is it?
They have Castlevania DLC, yeah.
That's so strange to me. I feel like Konami maybe.
I thought they got a
maybe shouldn't have done that.
I feel like they got a Contra crossover there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They got both.
Oh, they only got Contra?
Yeah, I thought that was the
Fuck are
thing of
they
like it's
thinking?
really funny that they slightly missed it.
Yeah, well, honestly, like, first of all, I think it's weird that Konami is getting chummy with the people stealing their whole flow.
I know.
Like,
Their
that's
Dracula
odd.
flow.
Yeah, that'd be like if Gianna Sisters popped up in Smash.
It is true. Yeah.
Except Smash is the biggest game in the world. Vampire Survivors is a phone game.
But it was very big for a short period of time. Not
That's
Smash
true.
big, but big enough where that person doesn't need to do anything for the rest of their life.
Lots of people who don't play very many games told me it was the greatest game ever made and completely revolutionized everything. And I'm like, don't you write about games? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't play them. And then I asked them, can I share this anecdote in the future? And they're like, don't say my name though.
Worth noting, Balatro weirdly might be similar to what we're talking. Anyway, Balatro got Castlevania cards.
Yeah, they crossed over everything
So-
the last couple of weeks of like, oh man, we
Yeah,
had some
like-
announcements at
like-
Gamescom last week and then more today.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, more Tuesday.
Like I keep saying, all Konami needs to do is not fuck up with a new Castlevania game. It doesn't even have to be great.
Right.
It just has to be fine.
Mhm.
And Castlevania will go from stone fucking dead to one of the most competently handled franchises in gaming at the moment.
And it is so very, very important that they do their absolute hardest to pretend that Lords of Shadow never happened.
Of course.
At
That
least for the first
seems-
one. You can
that's-
start referencing it after that.
I don't think you have to worry about that. First of all, I don't see any way that whatever new Castlevania they're cooking is a 3D thing. I just don't. Like it might be 2.5D. Like it might be that.
They keep
but
playing
like a full 3D game,
right.
no fucking way. They don't have anybody to make it.
And they keep
Like they didn't make Silent Hill. They're not making that Metal Gear Delta.
I thought Delta was somewhat in house.
No?
I see people in chat saying Balatro didn't get Castlevania, got Vampire Survivor cards, Dan. How would you know? Did you read the
Vampire
serial
Survivors
number?
also has Bayonetta in it.
I mean, it's true. But yeah, they keep even like referencing the Demon Castle War and doing all this other stuff with these crossovers. Like I think V Rising mentions that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah,
Yeah, I
they
feel
seem
like-
very invested in the real Castlevania timeline and don't want to mention Lords at all.
Yeah, no, Lords didn't go well
Lords of
by the
Shadow
end.
2 bombed really hard.
And Mirror of Fate did not do well.
No.
Like, and they put it on everything. God.
If only it weren't $40.
I do.
It should have been free and then it would have done great.
Yeah, you're.
I do wonder if they'll just like if Konami's just gonna like plop their dick on the table and be like, yeah, we're doing the 1999 game.
It could happen.
Ooh.
It could even like, and then they're like, and Iga's an advisor.
See, and that's the thing my brain keeps going back to of like, Iga doesn't have so much of an ego as to not work with them. If there was a Bloodstained Castlevania crossover game, or he makes a new Castlevania, that would be very possible and fucking hype.
Right.
Yeah, and then of course we got to talk about it. So the only ones remaining is the phone game, Order of Souls.
That's never coming back,
No,
man.
that's
never coming back.
I think that was the name of it. It's a terrible game. The PS2 games and the N64 games. Order of Shadows. Thank you. I remember the initialism, not the.
I feel like they'll do them eventually. Like that feels likely.
Yeah, it feels like it could happen. And they seem to be doing everything, like trying to get every
Like-
collection out.
But you know, it's funny that we had all these discussions for years and years about how dog shit the industry is at preserving their old games, and now that making new games is hard, and all of us are on fire. Suddenly, it's like here's Arrow the Acrobat out on PS5 now.
Yep. Amazing. Also, Castlevania Judgment, which we did talk about on the Order of Ecclesia stream.
Yeah, so that'd just be the 3D
That one ain't
Castlevania
coming
collection.
It'd be-
That one ain't coming back.
Probably
That
not,
one ain't-
because they'd have to restrike the deal probably with the Death Note artist.
Yeah, they might have to
I
do
don't
something
think
with
so.
that.
I don't think that's true. I imagine he just like do the designs for our game. He's like, okay.
He was really hot shit at the time, so I don't know.
That kind of contract never exists though. Like it's just like, yeah, we'll pay you to do the designs, for our characters. Okay, goodbye, we're done with you.
He's like, here's the design, and they're like, that's not light. Draw light. They're like,
we paid you for Light Yagami to be in the game.
Well, look at Dragon Quest. You see all those Gokus? We didn't get you because you're creative. We got you because you draw one guy.
And then he draws Cornell, and they're like, damn, maybe we should have got him because he's creative.
You see, this is 20 years in the future, but you see what they're doing with the fairy tale guy over there in Pharmacia? He just drew the same guy again.
Fuck.
It's like the 6th time he's drawn the same guy.
When is that fucking game?
I think November or maybe December.
I'm worried it's way closer than that. One moment. November something.
All right.
November 1st. First day of November. God damn it.
But Dan, you can't play that. Then you have to be playing Dragon Age the Veilguard. Did you know that game has stagger bars? It has a stagger meter. You hit the enemy in the side and they stagger.
I'm excited
they
for
fall down and take more damage.
I'm excited for another flavor made by Western devs of Final Fantasy 16.
Do you think when you finish a fight they'll have like the BioWare character yell, "That's enough"?
Yeah! That'll be so good. You get them in this acceptable state, and then you do the "that's enough" attack, and it does extra damage, allegedly.
I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited for that stream where Bob touches the controller and you just see the life leave his body.
I feel like I should be allowed the option to just replay Days Gone instead of Veilguard.
Oh, come on, Veilguard's going to be a lot shorter.
I
feel like
hope.
that game. They said it's structured like a Mass Effect, and Mass Effects are 20 to 25. And I have a sneaking suspicion you're going to get to about hour 15 of Veilguard, and you're going to suddenly be on the Resolution Flume ride.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, I think we've talked about Order of Ecclesia enough.
I guess.
I really cannot stress this. If you're listening to this, buy Castlevania The Dominus Collection. Please. For the love of God, those games are great.
Yeah, and they feel like nothing else as far as Metroidvanias go.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like, these made the genre, and no one else was like, I'm going to make it like that. They all had had their own spin on it. So
Yeah,
like
and
those games are different enough. If you don't like one of them, I can't help you.
The RPG elements of those Igavanias really is something that most of these other games doing that formula didn't really internalize. Like they don't even do as good a job as Metroid, because like Metroid doesn't have RPG mechanics, but you're constantly collecting missile tanks, you're constantly collecting super bombs, you're constantly collecting health tanks, you're constantly picking up these Skittles, and in Igavanias you're constantly leveling up health bar upgrades, heart upgrades, new weapons, new armor,
MP
stuff like that. Then you play something like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which I like that game, but it's like there's so little things you're picking up, and that game is the longest one of these, except for maybe Hollow Knight, the longest game ever made in human history.
Yeah, I think I think the worst thing I could do to me is be like, okay, we're starting a new series where we play a different Metroidvania every week to completion.
oof. Yeah, that'd be a little rough.
I would spend.
Hell yeah, let's get on it, Dust and Elysian Tale.
That would be in the top half easily.
Right.
I don't think that would
we
be-
have to play
Valdis,
Guacamelee.
Let's say Guacamelee 1 and 2. Valdis Abyssal Story, I believe, is what one is called.
Yeah. Then we got to
you'd
play
have
that.
to
You remember that game Eric was like really defensive of? That was a PS4 downloadable.
Chasm.
Chasm. I was like, I know it's one word.
Oh, do you have to play Unepic?
I don't even want to
I
know
don't know
what that is.
yeah.
For the record, though, Eric came over once we were streaming till 6 a.m. He comes over and he's like, yeah, the game's okay. We're like, I thought you liked the game. He's like, yeah, it's whatever.
It's okay.
Like, it had already just unimpressed him after beating it.
Like did he come in during our stream to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
was it right after or
Because
was it
that
during?
was when he lived like right down the street.
Yes.
It was very funny.
He's like, I woke up and I had to get over here and defend myself.
Oh man, Unepic is on modern platformers now. Modern
he said it
platforms
again.
now. It's not just on PC.
He said it again.
I don't know what this is.
I don't like.
It's a
don't like that.
Metroidvania game with non-linear gameplay and lots of memes.
Hey, at least now I
Oh,
get
it's
to.
Guacamelee.
At least now I get to play Time Spinner. Huh?
Oh God, I never finished that one because it's so.
Wow, you didn't finish that?
No.
Wow, I thought you
It sure exists.
It's we get fucking.
Bob,
Spinner
why
sure
are you
is.
so angry? Well, now we get to determine where Time Spinner, Chasm, and Guacamelee sit in relation to each other. That's important.
Time Spinner is not as good as Guacamelee.
Fuck you. You did not. Bob, he just said Time Spinners is not as good as Guacamelee.
Guacamelee 1. Guacamelee 1 has kind of a decent gameplay loop. It's 2 where they're like, we have no new ideas.
There's a Guacamelee too.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Time Spinner has that feeling that a lot of these, they've worked on this indie game for 15 years, dragging themselves to the finish line with their teeth, where it's like, wow, the first 2 or 3 areas that were the demo you obsessively worked on are all really polished and good.
Then you realize there was no way to make a whole game like that.
Well, most of usually what happens is they like take. I think this is what happened with Time Spinner. They did a crowdfunding thing, and it's like, oh shit, we got to get the other 80% of this game done quick. Like we don't have time to reiterate it dozens of times over 10 years, so it comes out much less polished. And also Time Spinner has that issue of it's like, hey bro, I see over there with due to all the plot developments and shit you wrote, where another 60% of this game should have been, and it's just not there.
Oh my God.
You have something to say about that, or
Didn't they announce the Time Spinners too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. Maybe they learned.
Also, what somebody was bringing up something in chat. Oh yeah, Outland. So we have a reason to play through Outland again.
Yeah, I was thinking about that and Apotheon.
The Housemarque made Metroidvania with the Ikaruga mechanics.
There's like infinite numbers of mid Metroidvanias.
It's true, which is
but
why
at least
that
you
would.
get to play a lot. At least you get to play a lot of good games, like all those Team Ladybug ones.
Yeah,
okay, those are all good. And then I get to do a full playthrough of Pharaoh Adventure Rebirth Plus.
Ooh,
you get to play the dick sucking one.
Yeah, that's true. Paradiso Guardian Paradiso. Which, don't worry, there's the Innocent Angel mode, or not. I think it's called Naughty Angel mode, and you can turn it off, and it's on by default.
I'm trying to remember that.
Then the only thing I have to deal with is the terrible camera stutter. Thank you, Unity. You fucking piece of shit.
There's a Metroidvania called Witchcrafty.
I know I've heard the name.
I've never seen a single person ever bring this up. Usually, I feel like I can at least recognize these kind of games.
Oh, and then there's Gestalt, Steam, and Cinder. I played that for one of those demo roundups, and it has great art and then sucks.
Man, there's way too many. We can't, we could go on and on and
I
on
know.
and on.
Yeah, no,
There's
we could break into the argument technically Dark Souls is a Metroidvania because of this and this structurally.
Well,
No,
they said Doom: The Dark Ages was going to be like a Metroidvania.
I am changing our game. We're talking about Bob.
Yeah.
Aggro, join me in this conversation. We are talking about Deadlock, the game I played ahead of Big Think last week, and then just to fuck me, something like 7 whole hours after Big Think ends, they go, you can talk about it now. And I'm like, fucking great. I love to
I won't for another week, though.
So thanks, asshole.
This is not Ratchet Deadlock. This is Steam Deadlock.
Steam Deadlock.
Here's the context for this game for anyone in the future who's listening to this or freshly listening to this right now who does not know what the hell it is. Deadlock is Valve's hero shooter made by the Dota 2 team. It is a third-person shooter that is Dota 2.
It's like Smite, if you ever played Smite.
It is a third-person shooter MOBA. It has all the trappings of a MOBA. Every last
one of them. Every most complicated one you can think of, it's there.
So, I thought I would enjoy it. I did not enjoy it. Bob, you tried it.
Yes.
What characters did you play as?
I've got to play as the sniper lady. I'm trying to remember the other one.
Was it my shotgun or giant revolvers dude?
No, I wasn't able to play as him. He's one of them I selected but didn't give me because you select like 3 characters and you go to the match. I played a little bit of the samurai lady.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, the one with the really tall face.
Yeah, the tall head that looks horrible.
On the character select, you finally showed me the character select. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know why she looks like that. And then there's some other guy with a gun because there's a ton of these characters that have. Yeah, it's just a gun.
It is just a gun, but at least their designs have any level of aesthetic or drip because it's Hellboy.
Yeah, it's Hellboy-esque. The character designs are pretty neat. It is just like most of them just shoot.
So to get my deal out there, MOBA-wise, my 2 favorites are League of Legends and Heroes of the Storm. I like hero shooters. I thought I would like this fusion. It just doesn't... To me, the long time to kill, like, the creeps or whatever, the tiny little minions your camps spawn to go down the 3 lanes because it is that...
Because you're playing Paragon.
You just... Yes, it is very Paragon because it's a MOBA third-person shooter, but it's also very Smite. And I've never played Smite, to be clear. I should try out Smite. It has become, weirdly enough, incredibly relevant. That's true. This one does have 4 lanes. That's completely different from 3.
Such game, much meme. Did you remember that? Remember when they put that into Smite? They put the Doge into Smite.
Yep. So I couldn't find myself enjoying this. I don't find pushing lanes where I have to aim at each individual enemy and shoot them so many times in order to kill them, in order to get experience. You know, because you get the soul currency, and the amount of soul currency you've gained is basically an experience bar, and you get rewarded with being stronger and other things as you go. I did not find that as rewarding as I was hoping I would. I don't think the mobility in this feels as kinetic and as good as an Overwatch, right?
No, yeah, it definitely feels way more
slow,
normal and slow.
Yeah.
I was surprised you have like clamber up the wall if you get, jump at it.
You also have a double jump.
You have a double jump. But characters seem kind of like unified in what they have. It doesn't feel like there's a ton of mobility options per character.
Mm-hmm.
Like Overwatch would be very different per character. Like Monkey Man jumps around and all that.
Yeah,
sort of
it's
stuff.
completely different between something like what's the name of the one with the mace and the shield? I can't remember her name. Anyways, her, Reinhardt, Farah, like all of these characters move very differently. It feels like a lot of them have mobility abilities. And of course the famous Overwatch character Monkey. Thank you, Shaq. Lots of different movement. Yes, and her name was Brigitte. This did not feel as full of variety. It did not feel as compelling to me. It did not feel as kinetic to me. I was pretty disappointed by this because I was really excited to try it out because I think Valve, when they make a game, they make a pretty top-notch game, I would say, by and large.
And another thing, since it's so rooted in being a MOBA, like the character you select at the beginning, you are them the whole time. It's not like you can type match in Overwatch.
Yeah, there's no counter-picking.
There's no counter-picking. There's no switching later like, oh, I realized I didn't like this character.
This
match is going to be half an hour.
Pretty much you take care of that by building.
You're supposed to counter the enemy with your build out, with your spec out, because there's basically what is equipment as you go, and you can affect, how much damage you're doing physically or spiritually, which I believe they call bullet damage and spirit damage. Both as offense and defense with your build as it goes. But there's no mid-round counter-picking.
Yeah, if you decide that you don't like this character,
which is pretty important to Overwatch. Are you? I'm sorry.
Yep. Bring out the guest, Dan. Bring out our special
We're not
guest. It's
even
time
in
for a
news!
special bulletin. It's better for a special bulletin right fucking now.
What happened?
We are not.
So Oka Studios, who made Visions of Mana, have been shut down today. They're a NetEase studio. NetEase just like, okay, they're got your bye.
What?
I now have an unbelievably bad feeling about all those studios they opened via poaching. We're fucked.
Yeah,
all those studios are getting closed.
What in the world? It launched today. What do you mean it didn't do well enough?
Very excited for my.
I assume it had nothing to do with how it did. I assume it was just like, yeah, they fulfilled the contract we signed with Square Enix to make this game, and now they're gone.
I fucking hate modern game development. End to end. God damn it.
Why is it always like this? Don't feel positively about anything. It will only lead to disappointment.
Only an idiot would have positive feelings. Be cynical. Make your fucking smart video essay where you're like, I bet every game ever will suck. Look, Bob, we can't know that some games are going to be bad.
No one can.
It's unknowable.
You can't read any pulses.
I'm
can't.
so fucking...
Yeah.
I'm so fucking upset.
Yeah. That's insane.
Like, I'm trying to think of the upside for doing this.
Well, now you don't have to run that studio.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. Like they poached all these people, they opened all these studios. You make the game we hired you to make, then we shut the studio down. So
we pissed a lot of money away setting up a company.
Like we just do it again every time. We form a studio to make a game, and then we dissolve the studio. I
assume that NetEase did the same fucking thing everybody else did, and is like, we can spend $1 billion. We're at the infinite money. We're into history where there's infinite money for everybody. Let's spend all these billions of dollars over in Japan building all these studios. Oh, we shouldn't have done that. I guess now we got to close them all.
Yeah, it's like, obviously the profit margins of COVID will just keep going up forever. The chart only goes one way, and it goes up really fast.
Every big think dimension of this year, I have stepped into the chamber to record the podcast and gone, God, I hope the industry is burning down segment is small this week. It's never not there.
Yeah.
I've given up hope on it not being there. It just seems to show up every fucking I think we missed 1 week.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't even think we missed 1 week. I don't think there's been a single week.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm putting him away.
We can.
We're gonna have to.
I hope somebody
talk
pulls
about
out.
Get out.
I hope somebody pulls them out, and it's like, yeah, we'll take those people. They made a good game.
Our special guest will be back later. Hey, Aggro, you played, as Steam tells me, 15 minutes of Deadlock. Would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, by all means, please dismiss everything I'm about to say with, well, you barely played it, because I didn't finish a match. I barely got through the character select screen. I couldn't summon much enthusiasm after I landed there.
Jesus.
I loaded into a bot match and started shooting at creeps and just... Aww.
Yeah, it does not have any immediate feel-good like energy to it at all. Like, you know exactly what it is the moment you pick it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I went through the tutorial, and I understand this is a feature of MOBA games. It's just a thing I don't like, where I went through the tutorial and it said, this is the shop where in the middle of a match you buy these things to make your super complicated build, which is fucking... like, it's 2024. I thought we sterilized and streamlined the shit out of all these genres. Like, I'm glad this is still here for the people who like it. I detest that part of MOBAs.
Yeah, no, that's always been my least favorite thing in MOBAs. It's like, I just want to know the character, not the obscure build I need to find online.
Well, that's okay. This integrated the build information using community build guides. So that way you knew, as the sniper lady who doesn't wear shoes, what your setup was supposed to be, Bob.
Uh-huh.
It told you. It told you that you were supposed to use the... let me find the name here real quick of the most popular guide for this sniper lady. Oh, man. I tweeted a lot in the last week. Would you believe it?
I guess so, yeah.
Ah, jeez. I totally zoomed past it, though, because I tweeted it much later. Was it sniper sexy feet DPS? There we go. Sniper DPS sexy feet build.
Obviously the best one.
It had like 60,000 upvotes or some shit.
And it's like, yeah, if that's there anyway, what if this whole thing wasn't here? What if you just leveled up and got stronger?
What?
I know.
No.
Insane.
No. It's worth noting that Bob played on my account, so my time's a little bit inflated by that. But I looked at my friends list, and I have played it the most of anyone I'm friends with. Except for one person who played it 3 weeks ago, where Steam won't tell me how much they played it because that was 3 weeks ago instead of 2 weeks ago. Seemingly. Anyway, that's troubling. Because I have a lot of friends who should be falling down this exact hole. I'm worried that people were interested in it because of the intrigue and the hype.
Right. Like I feel like the reason it has the numbers it does is because of the mysticism around it. They're like, no, nobody can play it. It's a secret new video game from Valve.
And then it came out.
No one is allowed to shop at Macy's.
And then they were allowed, and then they shot Concord in the chest. The problem is the body was dead for days.
I know. It's like, yeah, that corpse was dead, man. It's like that one guy who's like, yeah, I killed the girl in Colombo. It's like, no, you didn't. You shot a corpse.
You shot a corpse. You get off. A little weird that you did that, but spoilers for one of the 100+ Columbo episodes.
You'll never see it coming by the time it happens, honestly.
That is true. You'll never know which of those episodes it could have been. Man, Columbo's so good.
It sure is.
Oh, man. Anyway, they used to just make things, and then you could make a lot of a thing, and then you could show it on television. How many episodes did you say that Batman series got on, what was it, Hulu or Amazon Prime?
I think it was 9 or 12, something like that.
Even Batman's not a good enough IP to get a decent number of episodes in 2024. Absolutely insane. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know.
10.
Bruce Timm comes back and gets 10 episodes.
10.
Maybe all these streaming shows wouldn't cost so fucking much fucking money. If you're like, look, we have these sets and these characters. Let's make 52 episodes. Let's make 26 episode long seasons. Wow, look at all the content we got with the same resources. Now we better cost $650,000 per minute. That's how much the Acolyte cost.
Yeah.
Adam Keats from the Castlevania show is like, wow, 1 minute of their show costs as much as an episode of mine.
Yep. It's worth noting Adam from Adam Ruins Everything was talking about how it was making a Netflix show. And he's like, I had talks with executives who were talking about how bingeable our show is because they genuinely engineer the content and the content drops so it's bingeable. They consider that an important factor of how bingeable your show is. So the duration of my show, how many episodes decisions were made based on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hate every industry. I'm so sick of 2024. Can I choose a different year?
Yeah, they all are burning down for their own fault, honestly. Like, it's...
Yeah, lots of self-inflicted wounds out there.
I know, right? Like, no...
Why? Like, it's cheap to run a studio in Japan right now. The studio got work. They just released a game that seems pretty well received and will probably sell all right. Like, at this point, there is nothing that can save you. There's nothing.
Is Oka Studios in Japan?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because the whole point is that NetEase is pulling out of Japan. So say bye-bye to all those poached studios.
I am
like, it's fucking soul crushing. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing if you're a developer right now, know that nothing you do either way will affect what happens to you. You can't do shit. We've all always been powerless, but normally they at least let us pretend.
Cool. Great.
So Deadlock.
Yeah, I already thoroughly described the feeling of playing Deadlock, how much I don't enjoy it. Basically, what I'm going to do with it is just see how other people continue to enjoy it, if that's a thing, if it has legs at all. Because here's the thing, I feel like Artifact at this exact point in time had hype.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got the blessing, right? the Valve touch of God or whatever. I don't think this has legs. I'm interested to see if it does.
Right. Also, it's weird. They announced when they released this, they talked about how a lot of the art and assets and stuff weren't final.
Yeah, that's true. When we played it before it was out, they were like, "Hey, don't talk about this or show it because the art isn't final and it's not done."
Yeah, and it really makes me wonder like how much they plan to revamp it, because right now the characters in the backgrounds don't feel like they match at all. I feel like you kind of need to retexture almost the entire game.
Yeah, the environmental art doesn't quite have the same gothic feeling. Like it should be more pulpy. It should have more contrast, but then that gets into visibility and playability. And,
right.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I have to wonder if that's going to be out the window and be like, this is how the game looks. Which is probably the case. They're like, it's early art. It's like, no, it's not. It's done. You're done.
What? You're dying. Oh my God.
When I was playing it, I called the creep camps on accident goon camps because it's been too long.
A goon camp? I hear that's what forms when someone hears a VTuber's over 30.
I'm changing topics.
That's what Deacon would have to have rated in Days Gone 2, the goon camps.
And then he's driving on his motorcycle. He's like, "These fucking goons!" A lot of good that loot did you when I shot you in the head. Then it's just like him and silence. Because he's just yelling to himself, and then he's like, "Man, I'm so fucked up. What's wrong with me? Why do I kill so many people?"
They made Concord, but they couldn't make Days Gone 2. Oh, sorry, Dan. I didn't think that'd affect you so much.
I got a gag reflex because you're so right to say that, and that's fucked up.
God. We have a whole section to talk about Concord in. We can hold it.
Okay. All right. I co-hosted the Daihime stream of Arkham Knight.
I
Batman.
I co-streamed Arkham Asylum for a while. That was the day before, but I didn't talk about it.
Arkham Knight really is, like, as I described during that stream, I'm like, people who were born a little too late have a fascination with, like, you made a whole cartoon in the 80s and just aired it every day of the week to sell a playset. That's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, and Arkham Knight is what it would be like if we did that for a fucking video game. Because every fucking problem is solved by the goddamn Batmobile. There is a winchable moment around every corner. It's fucking unreal, that game.
Did you get to the point where the game just turns into a third-person shooter with the tank? With the tank mobile?
That's half the game.
Okay, I thought so. I figured.
It is literally on foot battle, get in the Batmobile, shooting tanks. And every time they have to be like, "Oh, he got the drone because those tanks don't have people in them because
Batman
that
is
would
not
be
killing
bad.
people.
He's just not killing people right now." Nope. It's fucking unreal, and it's so bizarre because I have no experience with Asylum or City, so this is my favorite reference for the Arkham games. I should have gotten. I assume there was a $300 edition that came with the Batmobile.
I don't know. I don't know if they actually sold the Batmobile. They should have. Obviously,
that's a fucking misstep if they didn't. Fucking unreal, that video game. How's Asylum, Chris?
Asylum seems pretty neat. It's a very 7th gen game. I do think it's funny how much of just a 7th gen dickhead Batman is. Like, he's just aggressive for no reason and an asshole and creates problems for himself by doing that. And I think that carries into all 3 games.
So this is true, and I agreed with you. But after these streams, I went and watched a little bit of Batman the Animated Series, and I can't remember which episode. It was the Clayface two-parter. I'm watching the Clayface two-parter, which is like origin story of Clayface in the animated series. Batman takes his airplane, uses a claw hand on it, picks up a man, and flies him through the air in Gotham to scare him shitless for an interrogation, and is screaming at him on the radio because he needs a megaphone to talk to him because you are fucking 70 stories up. And then when he still does not give Batman the information he wants, I shit you not, he dives low enough to start dunking his ass into the river, and he's like freaking out trying to stay afloat. Batman's maybe a little more insane than we remember in the animated series. That's all I'm trying to say. Another highlight of me watching that was when he solved the problem at Poison Ivy's by trying to... He's been drugged, and it's like, oh no, Batman's been drugged by Poison Ivy. How's he going to escape this one? He uses a Batarang to like grapple shot on a light. So imagine a generic light fixture in this place, this greenhouse. And he goes to swing out, but he's so heavy, it snaps off, falls into the water, and catches the whole place on fire. And I'm like, Batman is the greatest detective. He's solving this problem as elegantly as a drunk frat boy. He knocked the light over into the pool and caused a house fire.
The big exploding punch in Arkham Asylum is pretty good, though.
Oh, it does it. What's the big exploding one? Is that just the Foley thing?
No, it's a thing that only happens at the end of the game where Batman sprays his explosive gel all over his fist and does a big punch.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
The explosive gel is really funny because he always makes a bat logo with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like those dudes who are like, no. The perfect shape to make with your thermal paste is this. And then they do their own version. He's like that, but for exploding shit.
I looked it up.
Okay.
Arkham Knight Collector Edition. It's just Batman. Just statue of Batman standing there.
I mean, Batman's pretty cool.
Batman's pretty cool.
How much was it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. One second. Do you remember what the edition was called?
It was I just looked up Collector's Edition.
Batman Arkham Knight Collector's Edition. MSRP.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. It was like $20.
It's probably like 120, I bet.
Okay, one moment. There's an edition, according to VG247, called the Batmobile Edition.
Oh.
One moment. Let me see.
Does not have the Batmobile?
Oh, no,
it does.
It has the Batmobile. How much is that? How much was that version? That was $200.
Okay.
But they're like British, I think. So like they're listing it in 170 pounds, $200 US. So it was $200 US. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that it's so obvious to make that because that fucking model for that Batmobile's insane. I really liked when I came into Die's stream of Asylum, and it was just against Killer Croc, and it was just a Crash Bandicoot segment. That was really good when Chris was there for the Crash Bandicoot Killer Crocs.
Don't you fight?
Yeah.
Isn't the fight against him the same only fight that's in that game? Like that's the only boss fight that exists of fighting a big guy.
No, you don't even fight him. You fight Titan guys who Titan is the souped up version of Venom, the shit that Bane takes, and people and the Joker jabs it into people and they turn into Resident Evil tyrants, and you have to do the exact same mini boss fight against them where they run at you, you throw a Batarang in their face and they go and then run into the wall and are stunned and you can hit them.
Oh God, I was watching that. That was a boss fight. Oh God.
Look, I'm a little bit more forgiving of that kind of shit with the context. Oh right, that Arkham Asylum is 7 hours long. Games used to not be very long. Everybody who's like, games just have to be 300 hours now and cost $700 million to make. That's normal. Yeah,
no, I really miss that. I really miss a game being an experience you were supposed to consume at a reasonable amount of time. Because while
you might conceivably want to play it a second time at some point, right? Like, oh, that's not a massive time commitment.
And for people who enjoy big games, you're being well served. No need to get upset about what I just said. Mm-hmm. Like literally, just have some perspective on this. And it's like the smaller, more scripted, authored experience disappeared because people were worried GameStop would put them out of business. Sounds absurd when you put it that way,
imagine,
doesn't it?
Imagine
Yeah.
if when GameStop shutters like games just become totally garbage, like across the board. It's like, we don't have to fear anymore. They can't sell it back. I think that would have happened already with digital sales taking up so much, but it's funny to imagine.
It's funny to imagine. It's just like, they don't know patience. Yeah, the entire publisher wing knowing they don't have to finish a game ever again.
Not that they were for the last 15 years.
Hey, at least most video games have endings.
Yeah.
We could just
Yeah,
get a
it's
whole
been
new
a while.
wave of not even that.
Yeah, God.
It's been a while since I played a game where it's like, buy the ending as DLC. We didn't have the fucking ending.
Yeah, that was not a great time.
No.
Anyway, Dai has been saying that we at some point need to do an Arkham month.
Yeah, no, I'd love to. I've never played True Arkham Origins. I've played like the first hour or so of that.
Yeah, and that's
I
got
need to
Troy
know.
Baker Joker.
Right?
I would also like to know, because all I know, and it's killing me, is the first 6 hours of Arkham Knight, which is really bad.
And we need to not replay Gotham Knights.
No,
That's not an Arkham game. That's not an Arkham game, Bob.
And we already played Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League.
Right. We're not
We're
playing that
good.
again.
So, sounds like a pretty good
Oh,
month.
yeah,
the only thing that can hurt us is Arkham
is right.
Blackgate.
The Swede is right. You'd have to play that Quest 3 game.
I'll figure out some way to stream from the Quest 3. I would like there to be a point to the Quest 3.
There's not like a...
An HDMI port, no.
Yeah, no.
No.
Just stick 2 GoPros in there.
And then how do I see it? Through the display on the backs of the GoPros? Is that...
You stream both those GoPros to your phone and shove that into like a Nintendo Labo headset.
It's a lot.
That's kind of how those early VR things where they're like, no, it's cool. You could just stick your smartphone in this cool cardboard mounted thing. It's like, this is sad, dude. I'd rather not even try. Yeah, anyways, that's it. I don't want to talk about Arkham anymore. Any other closing comments, Chris, before we move off of Arkham's? I got an ice maker.
Whoa.
It was pretty cool. Like, I fill my cup with ice, and it's ice. And since I use the purified water from the jugs I fill at the Publix, it's like, oh, and the ice tastes good instead of just like really bad city tap, which it could be worse. We've dealt with worse,
Right.
But it's still not great. It's great. Thank you everyone who supported the channel enough for me to buy an ice maker, because man, that's not an essential appliance. But man, you know how many hours I fucking wasted? And like, it really is hours. And how much I've undoubtedly lowered the temperature of my freezer too much. Pulling out the fucking trays of 1-inch cubes, popping them out, popping 3 or 2, however many will fit. That's how many will fit in a cup normally. 2, possibly, maybe 3, and it'll peak up slightly over the lid. And then putting it back in there. And I consume ice at a rate where I literally have 5 ice trays in the freezer. You have no idea how justified it is for this human being to have an ice maker.
Yeah, most people know, but Dan has ice, a large amount of ice with every single drink.
Ever. This is why I don't have a kidney stone. Because my brother's like, you drink a lot of soda too. And I'm like, yeah, I don't drink it without ice ever, actually. And then I drink water in addition to that.
Yeah, I've also been asked, and like, I drink 2 quarts of water the second I wake up.
You're like, I gotta get this down. I need to get pissing.
I actually got into the habit of doing that when I worked outside a lot more, because I would get up and go to work, and an hour into the day, I would be physically ill because I did not drink enough water. But it is a thing that is very important if you're going. Pre-hydration is so much more effective than hydrating outside.
Ad hoc,
you need to drink a shitload of water before you go into a situation that's going to dehydrate you.
It's true. And like in my experience, you will start to feel like shit at basically the same time you start to feel thirsty.
Yeah,
when you're
by the
outside,
time you're thirsty, you're dehydrated.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And here's a fun thing about heat sickness. This might be a thing that's just an urban legend, but it's a thing that I was taught and kind of believe. Once you get it once, that like lowers your max HP. It's now much easier for you to get heat sick in the future. Like if you get
Oh,
really
wow.
heat sick, that's like a permanent debuff on you forever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And yes, people in chat saying if you sweat a lot, you won't have to pee is accurate. I can drink 2 quarts of water, then I go outside into the southwestern United States sun, and you don't have to piss.
Yeah.
You just don't.
No, that's how that works.
Because your body's like, oh shit. And then I get home, after 4 hours or whatever to take a break and piss, and it's like dark yellow because all that water got used up.
You know what's fucked up? I stopped drinking energy drinks basically. Like, Tosh bought a Zoa and she can't drink it because it has like lemon juice, so she can't do that. So with that, I have had 3 absolutely tiny ones over the last 2 weeks or something. I was thinking, a radical thought, I drink so much water and other stuff, cutting out energy drinks, it's just going to be all clear, baby. No, somehow has not improved, has not changed. I'm like, what the fuck? Then where did the energy drinks go? Man, I can't tell you, and you've heard this talk on Big Thing, at least once. I feel a lot better after quitting energy drinks. And Chris has given me shit for this multiple times that I do this.
Yeah, no, you
just like,
you
oh,
jump
man,
right again so frequently.
I feel great. I quit energy drinks and I barely drink them at all anymore. And I slept under 5 hours like today and before the stream for Fez, and I feel fine both times. Whereas before I would wake up with less than 8 hours. Let me be real. I would wake up with 8 hours and I would just be like, oh, I feel like fucking garbage. Oh God, I feel like trash and need to sleep forever. But here I feel physically fine. It's almost like I'm trading against myself when I drink an energy drink.
Right.
It's almost like the energy drink stresses the body out, which takes a toll. Weird. Huh. You telling me there's no free lunch? Shit. I thought it was like a mana potion. Anyway. Very excited to somehow barely squeak through the fucking Sonic Chronicles stream by drinking an energy drink.
I'm sure there's some fantasy universe where that is what a mana potion's like.
I hope so.
I mean, I think potions in Final Fantasy VII are explicitly energy drinks that Shinra makes.
Oh.
But with the
understanding that it is horrible for your body.
Right. It's like, you get to see what's happening now, but you will feel it.
And in Final Fantasy 15, it's really funny because they are energy drinks and stuff there, but they are not magic. Noctis's king powers make these energy drinks and snack foods heal people like magic.
Cool.
All right.
The power of
Final
Burrows.
Final Fantasy 15 would be a great game if it was more than 30% done.
Yeah.
I would like a Final Fantasy that was done.
Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth's right there. That's a really done game.
That's
Yeah,
you know
it's
what?
messed
The
up.
problem is that canonically its story is not finished.
Right,
So in a
it's
sense, it's still not done.
And
it's
also,
a third
it
of a
is still a
game.
thing. It is still a thing you played already in a form
That's also true. Yeah.
that maybe has much better pacing. And even while I really like Rebirth a lot, and it's almost certainly going to be on my game of the year, I'm like, yeah, you're still not as good as the original version 7. Like I don't even have to think about that. It's just like, no, you're not. I'm sorry.
That's rough. I'm one of the rare people.
You're not as good as one of the greatest games ever made in human history.
It's rough to have to do.
We're shutting your studio down.
Wait, you're us. What do you?
Get fucked, me.
I'm cutting my arm off right now.
Ari has the shotgun in his mouth.
Look, we ran the numbers. Shutting our entire company down is a great way to save on overhead.
Jesus.
That's gonna be Microsoft. Yeah.
I'm one of the people who thinks like Resident Evil 3 remake's really great. More specifically and relevant to this though, I like Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 4 remake immensely. Like I both think they're really, really amazing games. They're different games though.
Right.
So to me, it feels rough to be like, yeah, 7 is better than its equivalent. But many people feel that way about Resident Evil 4, I feel. Or several people feel that way about Resident Evil 4, where they think it's much better than the remake. So I don't know. Maybe that's normal.
It's
a hard routine. It's a hard thing to. It's a hard act to follow up.
As someone who has played both games many times already, like even RE4 remake, I've played many times already. RE4 is better from like this is an arcade game. You just load it up and go angle, while RE4 Remake is a little bit is nowhere near what I'd call like the 7th gen set PC type experience, but it has more of that than the original RE4, which is mostly just nothing but the gameplay.
I don't know. The original RE4's got a lot of quick time events and other
like
things.
Set pieces. Yeah,
but it even has the lake monster. Like,
yeah,
one of my least favorite things in RE4 Remake is the lake monster that was there in the original, and I didn't like it there either.
I can kill that thing so fast now that I tend to forget it even exists.
They have a mod on PC to skip it. That is the most essential thing in the world. And I'm like,
wow,
yeah, I want
a boss fight. That makes me think of how the most popular mod for Dragon Age Origins is skip a 2-hour chunk of the game.
Jesus. God. But yeah, so I don't know how we got talking on Remake. Finished Final Fantasy energy drinks.
Yeah.
We started at energy drinks. Okay, anyways, we're moving on. Bob, what else have you been playing?
I played a few things. I played more Black Myth Wukong.
How do you feel about women's rights this week?
They're great. They should definitely be able to vote. I don't know why Wukong brings this into question weekly.
Every time he sits at a bonfire, he just questions women's rights.
They had to turn to a silent protagonist because he kept doing it.
They had to lobotomize. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. How's Black Myth Wukong?
I do not know how anyone can play this game and not just be like, this is Souls. This is a Souls-like. I got to a chapter 3.
Okay.
I get captured by the enemies and put in a jail.
Okay.
The jailers are weird interdimensional creatures that reduce my maximum HP. Does that remind anyone of anything that's possibly in 3 separate Souls games from FromSoft?
No.
Okay.
No. No, I've never played them. But
okay.
That was even in fucking Demon's Souls.
Yeah, I think it was in Demon's Souls. It's in Bloodborne. It's in, I believe, Dark Souls 3. Like, I don't understand. You have to just either not have never played a Dark Souls game or have never played an action game. That's the only way that you were like, this is clearly not a Dark Souls game.
The people who are making this argument are like mountain hermits who have traveled so far up this hill to die on that they have forgotten all of what their life was before. They've transcended the needing facts to back up their argument.
Also, Chapter 3 is the start of this game being wholly unoptimized.
Yeah. And it sounds like it's across everything, right?
Yeah, that's why I hear this is also where it kind of breaks down PC. They released the patch like today, so I don't know what that does.
No, nobody can ship, like everybody just ships their games 3-4 months early now.
Yeah,
like I get that they're so expensive now that you can't even, make your game cheaper.
Like, guys, we're about to have the easiest time of our lives. You know why? We can start doing Game of the Year in December because they stopped finishing games in November. They stopped finishing games back in October. We're good. We only play them up to that point each year.
I try not to bring attention to these people anymore, but it's so insane that in no other context would this statement, like in no other industry would anybody saying this be given the time of day, but every time somebody says it in the gaming industry, journalists dote on it and cover it. It's like, we should just raise our prices by 50%. That'll fix our problems. Games should just be $100. And I'm like, do you understand that when you raise the price of something, you sell less? And this is a careful balancing act, and that you're already kind of on the losing side of it by releasing things that cost $70 and also aren't fucking done. Like, do you understand that there's only so much of that the industry will take before consumers just start turning off? COVID brought in a lot of new people. Are you that eager to just push them out?
Yes.
Yeah. They don't know. They don't understand what COVID did.
No, they're still trying to figure it out. They're like, and then these people, they needed PlayStation Plus, and now they don't. What is happening? Who killed all these people?
They just left.
Who killed these 10 million people?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, no, there's just so many sides of the industry that cannot read the room.
I wish I could be positive about Visions of Honor right now. I wish I could be like, well, isn't it great that Visions of Mana isn't some quadruple A nightmare?
And then
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Nothing matters.
But anyway, we're calling. I want to describe exactly how
You have fun. I don't want to be a part of this.
how this is unoptimized in a bizarre way. You don't just see the frame rate in general lower during Chapter 3. You start having massive frame stutters. And the game is still running while you don't see it. So I have gone from full health, walking down a hallway, not fighting anyone. Frame stutter happens. I'm dead. I have been killed by an enemy I didn't even see yet. It is rough. Hopefully they're addressing this. I guess this is the I think that Digital Foundry was calling it something like the loading in a new area frame drop. Like that's the idea of it. But when you're in the prison, there's like a spinning thing in the middle of the prison that's huge. So I think it has to load periodically to load in each half of that. So even though you're not going to a new area, you're getting this huge stutter that just makes it almost unplayable. I saw that in the patch today. They did something to make the boss of that zone easier. And I feel like I only died to him because of these massive stutters. So I'm wondering if they're like, this is our fix. So we can't fix the stutters. We made the boss easier.
That's I heard from a couple of people that their prescription was they're not allowed to show you anything past Chapter 2. They said for story reasons.
And that was before launch.
Story reasons. We need to finish this fucking game.
Yeah, now that we're past launch, they could technically show it, which I think the IGN review updated with showing some of the glitches that guy got, because apparently he fell through the world a few times. I had it crash during a cutscene, so that wasn't a big deal because I just reloaded and we went right back to the cutscene, no problem. So luckily that wasn't a big problem. But yeah, and then after I got out of the jail and through like 2 more areas, I'm now to a zone where things seem to be loaded in decently and I don't have these gigantic frame stutters, so it's playable again. So if you can grind through it, you can get back to a playable video game.
What a sentence.
Also, I talked last week about the transformations and stuff you get. I have played so much more of the game now, and I still just only have 2 of those. Like, I only have 2 of the ones where you get a full new moveset, and only one of them's actually a full moveset. The second one I got is I turn into a big dumb rock guy and like slam your head on the ground.
The trailer shows multiple. So
it mainly focuses on the one I've been using though. So I don't even know.
Okay.
I like the multiple you're seeing might also be the ones that you transform and do one move.
Oh yeah.
So these are the ones that you'd actually get a full moveset. It's almost like a double trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like I'm going to just be using this one transformation the whole game. I'm like, dude, this seemed like a completely random boss I turn into at the very beginning of the game. In no world did I think, 15 hours later, you'll be doing that.
Well, it's like Cerberus in Devil May Cry 3, right? You get the triple nunchucks, and that guy was at least as important as Cerberus in Devil May Cry 3, right?
No.
Oh.
He also says like one line. I guess he's almost as important as Cerberus from Devil May Cry 3.
I don't know. That guy got like 5 lines or something.
Yeah, they have like a full conversation. You really don't. Like Wukong again, it's a Souls like you do not get too much conversation between any characters. There's a little bit, and then you move on. I'm still somewhat enjoying it, but it is very like those frame drops make it rough.
Yeah.
As far as other stuff I'm playing, I tried a few demos. I played Constance. It's on Steam.
Spell that?
It's CONSTANCE.
Okay, cool. Got it.
It is a Hollow Knight like very directly, and even the creators like Silk Song isn't out yet, but my game is. My game has a demo right now. Go play it. Every time I see an article about Silk Song, maybe it'll show up. He's retweeting was, well, have you tried a demo for my game?
You know what's like that, but it exists.
Which he is right to do it. This is as close to Hollow Knight you can be without being Hollow Knight.
Cool.
Hand-drawn art style, very similar look in that way, but with much brighter colors. You play as this like girl who's made of paint. So her dodge roll is instead of a roll, she like turns into a ball of paint. You have the stamina bar like you do in Hollow Knight. You have the thing where you bounce back a little bit when you hit the wall, like in Hollow Knight. And you have the Estus Flask. A lot of things are just like, yeah, you took the Souls game stuff, so obviously you are a Hollow Knight. And also it has the insanely hard platforming challenges, like Hollow Knight does.
There you go.
So you got everything.
If you're interested in Hollow Knight, we got one of those.
Right? I think that the main weakness here is that the enemy designs aren't nearly as good as Hollow Knight. They're all weird. Like, I think they're supposed to be... They're all robots, and they look kind of lame and scraggly. Like, I think they're supposed to be like 19... Like, I don't know what even era to call them. They're just weird little robots that are not very descript. Like, they don't have much going on. But then you get to play as this cool character made of paint, which is really neat. I don't know why the enemies are so lame. A big part of the game is you get there's corrupted areas, and you can hit them with your paint sword that will decorrupt it, but only for like a half a second. So there's a whole bunch of platforming challenges that involve you like hitting it, running through, and hitting something else that's coming at you that has the darkness on it. That sort of thing. Some of the stuff near the end of the demo definitely made me think of Mega Man Maker and some of the insane challenges we got sent there. That were just, yeah, I'm going to be retrying this like 20 plus times to actually get down the exact timing I need. And instead of when you die, you either go back to the bonfire or you can just respawn in that same room, but with 60% of your health bar. So when it's just all platforming challenges, it kind of works. Which most of the game seems like it's going to be like these super high-end platforming stuff. And I think this game comes out soon. This demo seems really complete. It's pretty neat. I definitely just checking it out if you like Hollow Knight at all and you're scratching the walls for Silk Song. Oh my god, I didn't see that robot.
Oh, yeah?
No.
This is a new one for you?
Yeah, that's a new one for me.
But yeah, the animation of the main character looks really good.
Yeah. I also tried out Aurascope.
Spell that?
Aurascope.
Okay.
Yeah,
so like the word aura and the word scope.
Yeah,
okay.
Just all one.
Okay.
This one's not on Steam yet. I think that they have a Steam wishlist thing, but I have to get the demo from like their website. Have you ever wanted to play Mario Galaxy in 2D?
Trying to imagine what that's like.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like someone took the idea of making a 3D Mario and took all the mechanics from that and made a 2D Mario, which ends up making it almost Sonic the Hedgehog like level layouts where they're kind of bigger and more exploratory. But you have all the moves you would have in a Mario Galaxy. Like you even have the like your midair spin.
But the gravity gimmick doesn't exist.
The gravity gimmick does not exist.
No. Okay.
But all the movement types and all the way that, this star, because each level has stars to get. This star will redesign the entire platforming level around getting that star.
Okay. That's an interesting concept.
You've got like your dive in midair like you would in Mario 64. You can jump off the wall, and he even does the Mario pose, like the flight pose that Mario does when he jumps off a wall. It's really neat. Like there's lots of little mechanics like that. There's a lot of momentum based stuff because it is more like a 3D Mario than a 2D. It definitely feels like this weird mix that ends up. It is funny to be like, yeah, and when you move 3D Mario mechanics into 2D, it feels more like a Sonic game because of it, because the levels have to be bigger. But yeah, it's all pixel art. Dan's showing it now. I think it's pretty fun. I don't think
looks great.
Yeah, the character designs aren't great, but other than that, I'm like, man, this is just, you move really well. You have lots of different moves to do.
Oh, that looks really neat.
You can do a ground pound, then super high jump off of it. You got all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, if anything,
Oh yeah,
this,
I am seeing some Wario energy here.
if anything, the weird front flip onto his hands and then a higher jump off that reminds me of Donkey Kong on the Game Boy.
Oh, really?
The one where
Yes.
you hold down and jump and he'll do a handstand, and then you hit it again and you do a higher jump.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is really cool. This looks great.
But yeah, it's set up exactly like Galaxy. You'll even be like, okay, I've done a few stars. Oh, this portal is corrupted. Go back and do a speed, like a hard mode speed run of an area with 1 health. It's like, this is literally directly that.
It makes sense. It's a cool structure for a game.
Yeah. So I definitely was checking that out. I have no idea when this game is coming.
Yeah, it only says coming soon. It is Aurascope, all one word. The word aura and scope.
And it also, the demo is like version 0.2 beta. So I'm like,
no.
This is not close, is it? You can play as a boy and a girl. It's they're interchangeable. They have like the same exact move set, but the girl has a cooler hairstyle.
Oh, okay, cool.
I also played a tiny bit more Nikkei. That game has just Vampire Survivors shoved in it.
What?
Yeah, you go to this one zone and it's like, hey, you want to play this old school game I made? It's on a cartridge, and then you boot it up and it's Vampire Survivors.
So what's the point of you playing that game? Does it get you currency for the rest of the game? Or?
It's a currency in that game, so you can unlock more stuff in Vampire Survivors in
There's
Nikkei.
a whole other game shoved in it.
Yeah, I'm like,
my God.
this is neat. I don't know why it's here, but this is neat. That's all I had to say about that. I also unlocked Misato, but I haven't even used her. I was just like, I logged in for third day. I got her.
I got Misato.
I booted up Overwatch 2. I think because I played Deadlock and stuff, and they announced a new gameplay mode for Overwatch 2, and I was like, I'll play that, sure.
Okay.
That new gameplay mode is really hard to tell the difference from old gameplay modes.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
It's called a clash.
Okay.
You're fighting over a single, like, capturable point. You capture the point, and then another capture point appears farther down the map.
Okay.
And then the enemy can capture back that point, and then you can chase each other back and forth between the points. Oh. And I'm like, isn't this already a game mode? Maybe it's not back and forth like this. Maybe that's what makes it different. Maybe you can't like recapture and then fight back the other direction in that other game mode.
It reminds me of that Battlefield 3 game mode.
It does, yeah. I can't remember what that was called either. Rush, maybe?
I think Rush, maybe. Watch, it was also called Clash, and we're like, oh shit.
But that's all I really had to say about that. Since I haven't played in months, there were a new character that I tried before. There's a support character who's Egyptian, has like a laser gun. She was pretty cool. And I was going to yesterday when I got home after watching content here at Dan's Place for a podcast. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and buy that ninja game that came out today. It's going to be great. And I was like, that's $20. I shouldn't spend $20. I don't need to do that right now. I have like dozens of games I need to play. I should play Predecessor.
For anyone who missed it, Predecessor is indistinguishable from Paragon.
It is literally Paragon resurrected.
Just look for the game featuring this guy.
His name is Steel.
Was it originally?
You're fucking kidding me.
No, it's literally this guy.
Yeah,
it's literally Paragon again.
That his name is Steel.
No, I am not. There were two. I was fighting two of them. One on the enemy team, one on my team. Both named Steel. That was the name of the character.
I foolishly opened this PS4 game box hoping there would be a manual. Man, imagine any shred of your game continuing to exist. But Paragon doesn't have that problem. Paragon's a lich.
Yeah, because they just released all the assets, so people just started making their own Paragon.
So, his name's Steel. That's cool. How is Predecessors? Is it plural? Predecessor?
No, it's just one. Predecessor.
Okay. How is Predecessor?
Predecessor sucks. Paragon sucks, so does it.
Okay.
We literally everything we just said about Deadlock. Modifier. Put predecessor in the name place.
Okay.
There you go.
I can do that. That's it?
That's it.
That simple?
That's simple.
I don't know. I said some positive things about character designs.
Oh yeah, none of that. Sorry. Take all that
I was
back.
like,
yeah, it's not like Hellboy. It doesn't look cool at all. It looks incredibly generic. And then they've added all these characters since. And I'm like, these are also super generic. So I don't even know for sure which ones are new.
like they all look like Unreal Engine characters.
Yeah, they all just look like you'd find them on the asset store.
These are all tech demos, cameos.
I want to say the guy with two guns is called Twin Blasters or just Gun. I don't know which.
Predecessor game. Twin Blaster? Twin Blast?
Twin Blast.
Twin Blast.
Is that really his name?
That seems to be his name. It's coming up with a...
Oh my god.
Is that really is that the guy?
That's the guy.
Oh my fucking god. I'm putting an image up. Chris, Aggro, prepare yourself.
I'd like to apologize to Steel.
Yes, you would.
What? This guy... This guy was their main guy when they first announced Paragon.
He looks AI generated.
He looks like if you're like attention AI fuse Tom Cruise with my alcoholic father.
Yes!
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like they're trying to get away. Like they just had to nudge Tom Cruise out of legal culpability.
Yeah, he's Tom Cruise, Nathan Drake,
and then they're like, make the eyes bigger, bigger. This guy hangs out with Angelo.
Yeah, he does.
Oh man.
The one good feature I can say about this is it has an auto build system for your items where you just like turn that on and you'll auto buy everything whenever you're back at base.
Cool.
And I'm like, that just means this whole system shouldn't exist.
I need to get Twin Blast off the screen.
Yeah, you do.
He's making me dizzy. There's a lot wrong with Twin Blast and this AI generated motherfucking face.
And he existed since Paragon original launch, so he's not AI generated at all.
I'm gonna see if I can find original launch art of Twin Blast from Paragon. Let me see. Paragon.
Yeah, I wish I kept all those because we had back in the day at GameStop, we had a poster.
Yep.
For Paragon. I should have taken it.
And we thought it was so funny. Oh man, he looks a lot edgier back then. He still looks unbelievably dumb as hell. Thank you, Windows Sound. We were worried you wouldn't show up this episode.
We need a Windows Sound in every episode.
Oh, this is good. Oh, that's really good.
I'm so glad I went and got this. Oh, these are delightful. Look at this edgy son of a bitch.
Yeah.
This is your brand new game as a service that's going to be crazy for you and all the kids at your high school. You get to play as this guy. Bob, can you imagine? It's like that fucking tweet Chris made. Can you imagine anyone sending a death threat over this character design?
No.
I can't imagine anyone in their teens having any neurons fire. Chris, is this doing something for you or Aggro?
No, I don't think so.
I can imagine the person who would be into this.
I think that we have, that guy that we talk about once in a while who has just statistically will always be wrong about everything. Like he was really into
our friend who just tragically almost like he's fated by a Greek deity will be into games that are doomed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he really liked this guy.
No way. That almost seems like slander. That almost seems like slander because I cannot imagine. I literally find that unfathomable to be into this man. That is very difficult to imagine.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Let's get rid of him.
And those are our two most iconic characters in Paragon. In Paragon.
Do you know why it failed? Yes, you do. We just showed you.
Yeah. The guy you can play the tutorial is, I don't think they ever advertised. His name's Gideon. He's just the most generic, like, he's a mage in Unreal Engine 4. Like, there's nothing happening here.
I need to know. That's almost that Soul Calibur character. Well, now that I'm getting a better look. God,
Seems like nothing.
Is that all his arm? One second, I gotta get him up on screen. I can't tell if that's just if his arm is that huge. You're telling me these characters are free?
Right, anybody can use them.
You could be this guy. Okay, his arm does stop at a point and he's got a buckler or something behind him. Okay.
That guy could show up in Mortals of Avium and I wouldn't even blink.
It's true. They'd be like, oh, this guy's kind of cool.
Right?
He looks like not a movie character, movie actor's face who's been scanned poorly.
Sir, you seem to have a part of your shirt that is solely designed to hit you in the nuts.
Yeah, you do.
Is that a problem? He has a hole on the go. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, hey Bob, do you have anything else to say about Paragon or predecessor? That's great. Thank you.
That is everything I played.
Okay, let's talk to Hey Aggro.
Hey Dan,
what have you been playing?
I got a good bit more through the Talos Principle 2 DLC.
Ooh.
Yeah, like I finished the middle section. Isle of the Blessed. It's basically just a whole nother chunk of the game. It's really good. That game continues to be my golden standard for 3D puzzles in that oeuvre. The first section, Orpheus Ascending, which is the one that's just lasers. It's all lasers all the time. I got stuck on like the second puzzle in it when I first booted the game. When I just went around that one, because this is all of the puzzles are in discrete physical areas and you can just fuck off and do a different one and come back. Man, the rest of them were easy. That whole part of the DLC is kind of weird that it exists. Mm-hmm. Story-wise, there's cool lore stuff going on, but it's a lot of the puzzles boil down to, if you aim the red emitter into this connector and the blue emitter into that connector that are all connected, it depends on how many connectors away from the emitter, whether or not the red laser or the blue laser will win. So your job is to figure out where on this grid of static connectors you need to aim the red laser and the blue laser so they balance out and both activate their targets. That's like 4 different puzzles in that section.
That doesn't sound enjoyable.
Nah, it's real good that Isle of the Blessed was worth the entire cost of that DLC.
Cool.
I am hoping the third section, what was it, Into the Abyss or something, which drops you down in the middle of the story of the main game where one character gets taken out of the story for a while. It just drops you down like, oh, by the way, he was also over here solving puzzles. One completely bizarre thing it does is in the first section with all the lasers, you're playing the same character as the main game. And you're doing stuff that takes place after the main game. In the second section, you're playing one of the side characters from the main game. And your main character is also there, except now he talks because they're robots and he just picked a voice pack. Like in the beginning of Talos Principle 2, you wake up and you're immediately thrust into the plot, and then you get on the ship to go to the place to do the stuff. And they literally talk about like, yeah, no, I just like nobody told me I could just pick a voice pack. I like we were busy doing this stuff.
Jesus Christ.
So your silent main character is just on the radio sometimes saying shit.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It's pretty great. I also got to play a bunch of Tactical Breach Wizards.
Oh, I've heard of that game at least once before. I think maybe only once before. How was it?
This game fucking rules. It is much less of a like, it looks like a tactics game when you look at pictures of it. It's really much more of a puzzle game in that it is not like a battle sim. It is you have these pieces and they can do these things, and your job is to figure out how to interact them and mix them and layer your turn to clear the board. It's got a beautiful breadth of difficulty in that you can clear the base requirements for every level really easily. You can play defensively, you can play simply, and you will get through this game. But every level also has a bunch of optional objectives, like hit 6 characters with this move, or everyone ends the level with full health, or defeat all the enemies by turn 2, a bunch of shit like that. And because of the first character you encounter's ability to see the future, every time you do an action, you can just hit the rewind button and take it back. So you moved a character. Oh, wait, that wasn't ideal. Hit the rewind button. You move a character. You use this ability to spend 1 mana to give another character an extra action. You use their ability to chain lightning off of 3 different characters to push them into a trap you set up with a 3rd character. Oh, wait, that didn't kill them all because I forgot to set this thing up. Rewind, 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 rewind. Do this, and then do the whole thing again. It gives you 4 main characters with completely different skill sets, and the goal of these levels is to figure out how to intricately not just use the moves optimally, but in what direct order to stack them to accomplish everything you need to. It is fantastic. The game does a weird thing where all of your moves have different modifiers you can buy with perk points that you get from XP. But the only thing that gives you XP is doing the main story missions. So you just, I mean, I may be wrong about this, but it seems like you just get them at a certain clip. So I don't know why we have to call that XP.
Yeah,
I think it's just because games have XP.
They do. So it's a name, and we can use it.
Yeah.
You know, with what you described, I do worry that the final stage will be like, we took away the rewind guy.
It might.
I keep waiting for it to happen.
That'd be insanely funny.
Yeah, it's both ways. One, yes, that would be hilarious, and I would shit myself, and it'd be cool. And on the other hand, I really don't think they do that because it's like the main mechanic of the
Right?
game.
I did play that demo, and it would be insane to play that game without that ability.
There are, I mean, the aesthetics of this game are immaculate because you've got people dressed in mixtures of wizard outfits and tactical gear. You eventually get someone in like paladin riot armor with a full riot shield and a flail made out of what looks like a piece of rope and several smoke grenades clustered together.
Okay.
Like there's an ability one of your characters has where all of these levels sort of float in the void, and a big part of this game is kicking people out of windows. Very few of your abilities actually do damage. More of your abilities do knockback. Mm-hmm. So hitting enemies into each other, hitting enemies into walls to do damage to them, knocking them out of windows. There's a character who, she's a witch private detective, so she has a broom. So you put her next to a window, and she can jump through a window and reappear at any other window in the level.
Oh.
It's good.
Mm-hmm. It's, I don't know, without going through a list of each of these guys' abilities and how they combo with each other and how they can combo with other people. Like, the chick with the huge riot armor, every time you spend a mana, you can swap with any other character she can see. Enemy or ally. You can spend a perk point into that to where if you swap while people are aiming at you, they just shoot whoever you swapped with.
Wabbit season! That's fucking good.
There are, like, I'm through Act 3. There are 4 main acts, but after each set of main missions, you've also got, like, a bunch of optional missions that just get you confidence is the currency you get for doing all your optional objectives, which is how you unlock new costumes. Most of which are honestly just palette swaps, but if you buy the game in the first week, which I think today is the last day for that, it's 10% off, and you get the WizTac set of armors for all the characters, which are the even more tactical sets.
Jesus. It was like, isn't that the game, though? What's it more tactical?
Just like more black, more weird armor. Huge logos that say WizTac.
Okay, yeah, that'll do it.
But yeah, that's Tactical Breach Wizards, a game that's exactly what it says in the tin, and probably the best I've ever gotten a return on one of those. Oh, that indie game trailer from this summer looked neat.
Yeah. Cool. I just need to look something up. I need to know. I have to. This is the point we're at in the year. It's almost September. It's practically September. I have to go. Oh, that sounds cool. Let me just Tactical Breach Wizards. How long to beat?
Yeah, that should be filled out by now.
I need to know. Okay, that is a reason. Okay, all right.
What did it say?
10 hours. Maybe 11.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's like a regular. Go for it.
Dan looking that time up reminded me. I was like, wait, didn't that Quantic Dream published game that looks totally noxious, the narrative thing where they're all like epic Zoomers owning the conservatives with music on a road trip?
Oh,
didn't that game just come out?
I've been seeing
How
clips
long
of
is
it.
that? How because I've gotten into a groove of giving shit like that a chance because I played Stray Gods and Goodbye Volcano High. For the record, Goodbye Volcano High is like fine. And it's actually better than most of those games. But Dustborn is 15 fucking hours. I'm not playing the 15-hour version of that.
Every single screenshot I've seen of that looks noxious. Like disgusting. You should not have made this.
First of all, that game bombed through the core of the earth. Like nobody bought that.
Good.
Like that game came in at 10% of a Concord.
Whoa.
But
that is as dizzy as Bob saying Castlevania Judgment is Aiding's worst game, and I'm like, whoa, 1 second, that's a whole thing to unpack. As a statement.
Yeah, every screenshot I see is just like, is this like a false flag? Did like conservatives make this game?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, like it looks. It's that same energy as like Netflix Cowboy Bebop, where it's like if you asked a person hostile to the concept of this project what they would do to make it bad on purpose, you would not be significantly far off from what you came in with.
See, they don't know. They signed a waiver, and then they just showed them, hey, this is the cover art for our game. What sort of things do you think these characters would say that would just fucking upset you?
I haven't even seen any of the, like, I haven't even come across any of those right-wing freaks crying, but like, even though they don't care, like that's where you came in at. I feel bad for you. I don't.
This game continues to not exist for me, and it's great.
I would have played it if it was not 15 fucking hours. Like if it was like, yeah, I'll sit down, I'll be in pain for one stream, and it'll be fine. Dan, don't say 15 hours is this one stream.
I'm just thinking it very loudly.
It's just one stream.
It's just one stream. It's not even a very long one.
Batman Begin.
Bane's the scariest guy I've ever seen.
Bob, you can't just say Batman Begin and be like, that was a reference to Michael Caine's tweet. That's not.
I think I can.
God damn it. This is horrible. God damn. Aggro, you didn't play anything else, did you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Chris Wolfhard.
I played Arzette, the Jewel of Faramore.
Oh, wow.
This is not a game code provided by game code provided by me. I fucking bought it. That game is good, which is confusing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because there's nothing in the
right?
world. There's nothing in the world that should be an easier fumble than we made a spiritual successor to the Zelda CDI games.
Because YouTube poops are funny and became some sort of faux meme thing.
Mm-hmm.
That should obviously be a fail project.
Yeah,
and yet,
but it's good. It has really good music, and they knew exactly how. First of all, they knew how much money to spend. This is not a very large game. It does not have a very large game world. It has like 8 levels that are fairly short, and you run through over and over because different items appear, and there's like fetch quest type elements to it. But they didn't fuck up and go, here's this really bad element of the original, we kept it. Like don't do that. They don't have any really terrible thing, like any terrible control elements. They kept just enough. Just enough.
Yeah, I was telling Bob,
it feels janky. It's just like, yeah, but
you don't push up to jump.
Right, but you don't feel terrible playing it. Like it also doesn't have a high skill barrier. Like they were at that point, like we need to make a hard one of these.
Yeah, when we played that game on Giving Games a Chance or whatever, I told Bob, I was like, yeah, no, I absolutely expected them to just go down the deranged route of making it miserable to play because that's how it was originally.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they smartly didn't.
Yeah.
So, and it's really funny when she just callously kills all these villains exactly like Zelda CDI.
Yeah.
I think my favorite is the horseman who tells a bunch of horse puns, and then a tree falls on him and he's dead.
Unrelated.
It's like a Greek archetype of the perfect character in a play.
The fact that they went as far as to make all the bosses enormous jokes, just like the CDI Zeldas, is so funny. There's a boss that you can beat by holding one button and not moving. Because he shoots projectiles at you, and you have the projectile reflector ring.
Yes, you have the
hold
reflector.
that button and stand there.
Fantastic.
Yeah, stunningly neat game. I got a little backlog of indie games. Oh boy, I don't have nearly as much time for as I thought with Visions of Mana and Astrobot and Infinite Wealth, which I still haven't booted at all.
Yeah.
And that Ratchet and Clank weapons in Doom mod that was linked in the Discord earlier this week, and I did not get a chance to try, even though I wanted to. I didn't play anything else. I just did more preparation for Build Timber, my September streams where I play Build Engine FPS games starting on Sunday with Shadow Warrior, a game that is 80% John Galt doing a not a very good by modern standards, not a very acceptable voice by modern standards. The protagonist Lo Wang.
You're starting with
that's the worst one, so that's what I'm starting with. That's one I like the least, so that's what I'm starting with.
Just got to get that ramp up, right?
That's fair. I understand.
How many times will we hear the really awful Big Trouble in Little China voice talking about nuking something? How many references to Hiroshima will we hear?
Will you have us redeem in your chat to let them play X-Play clips?
X-Play clips? Oh my god!
Oh no! I don't have enough. Damn.
That's so racist.
I'll have to do the next time. The next time I play some old game that has a lot of racist parts.
Jesus.
They were going around again today. I don't even know why.
I'm so sorry.
But they're so bad.
And they were never good. That's the fun part.
Uh-huh.
Jesus. Wait a second. That's all you've been doing. I guess we got to talk about what came out on Monday. Yo, we got to start the actual important thing we've been waiting for Bleach since the end of the Soul Society arc, it feels like, actually.
And it's also it happens to be the exact point where the tires come off the franchise.
Are these things connected somehow? You'll have to listen to that episode of Chugging Bleach to find out. And if you're a patron, you can listen to us talk about the movie Hellverse, which is sick as shit.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that was delightful.
Yeah.
And it looks immaculate. The only thing that might look better is maybe they went crazy in that newest season. But that movie looks really great. And it was transferred to Blu-ray well, unlike every other thing we've watched.
So those are worth checking out. Aside from that, I guess, we got Podlords.
There's some really good Renji slander in that episode. Go listen to it.
Yes, there is.
God. Oh, fuck.
It's Renji.
Oh, fuck. It's Renji.
Or wait, no, that's Podlords. How did I mix that up? Bob, you tricked me.
I'm sorry.
Podlords such as BN12, Red Blaze 27, Suzushiro.
What? How did this sneak in here? I don't have an image for this, do I? No, I don't. Ah, Podlord. Next time, Podlord.
Oh fuck, it's the Patron Mundos. 101 Shades of Wonderful Remastered. WTF, Spider-Man.
I'm happy Starfield finally has vehicles for its barren world, pictured here. For 1 second. For 1 second, thought it was a Cybertruck. Just 1 second.
That's fair.
It's this part right here, the front face, where you just got flat.
I wouldn't be
sheet of
surprised
map.
if he came with a picture of this when he wanted to make the Cybertruck.
DFW 3K. Muckbun. Shiny Mew. Chris C.
Which it was a cute picture, so I just want to show it.
Fantastic.
Juice Frost. The Cuck Shelf.
Oh my god.
Aww.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, that's how it looks at mine, too.
Man, is this Bleach? Because that sure is hollow.
Womp, womp.
Cooper Tank.
We Castlevania fans are eating well.
Jesus, why him? Why'd you do it to him? Couldn't you at least have
why
grabbed
not
Bronner and did
Dracula?
something?
I just...
Or
he didn't deserve this.
I don't. Who voices Jonathan? Do we know if it's Troy
Not
Baker?
Troy Baker.
Are we sure?
There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way.
There's no way. I've never heard that man speak in that register.
He's Liam O'Brien, which is shocking.
That is.
Indigo Sykes. Me when I see my backlog.
Yeah.
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 Gaijin.
So, Hyper Demon just stealth dropped an update adding biblically accurate angel PvP. Sounds sick.
Huh.
A raccoon getting a donut.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah, man, I need a donut.
Me too. Wait a second. Why is that image not popping at the correct time? No, it was. Okay, I got confused.
This was an announcement targeted at Apple Gothic exclusively, and it comes out almost on their birthday.
You know, we were talking about this in the podcast right before this one. And how who is My Sims bundle for? And we found them.
There you go. Target acquired. Hands to yourself, Guardian.
Oh, that looks neat.
Yeah.
I know they gave one away back in the day with the collector edition. Not gave one away. They've sold you one for an insanely exorbitant price with the collector edition.
I don't think this is that one.
Okay.
I don't think this is
It does look like a different skin for it, so probably.
Yeah, I don't know. Shadow's story began much like yours, Podlord. But where you found family and friends, Shadow found only plans and loss.
Oh my god.
Fantastic.
Jesus. Yeah.
Saraline. Timothy Pfister is still vibrating with excitement about Trails in the Sky the First. RPG dominance confirmed to continue well into... Oh no, they didn't finish.
Oh no.
The pop
It could be anything.
It could be next week, next year. Bearded Joe, Krunglespum, Pleochrome. Just beat Wukong after 41 hours. I am still riding high off that last boss fight, which was pure gas. What is this image I'm looking at?
Oh, is that? I saw something going around. There's some person paid in China somewhere to dress up as Wukong and accept bananas from people. I don't know if that's the exact picture, but it looks similar.
Okay. My God. An IGN investigation reveals Big Think Dimension has only one extremely rich and deranged podlord.
We found him.
Another investigation is going to reveal Jinkaria was never real.
Oh no.
He should go made
Yeah,
him
well, no
up.
shit, he's an anime character.
Wait, what does that mean?
Me to Bobby Kotick after finding out why Crash 5 was canceled.
You know that game that we listed on our fucking year-end earnings sheet as saving our quarter because it sold so well? It didn't sell well enough.
Jeff, why did you let Nintendo upstage you twice in one summer?
They always do. Like, you can't beat Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm like, were you gonna blame him because he gets knocked the fuck out by a champion boxer?
It's like guys who always have the best events every year for the last decade.
I mean,
He's a
still, it was disrespectful to do that shit with a partner showcase.
He's a coughing baby, guys. Like, he can't beat the nuclear bomb.
They are free.
I'm so happy.
Jonathan,
Charlotte,
Jonathan,
Charlotte,
Jonathan,
Charlotte,
Jonathan.
Charlotte.
What up, John?
Hey, Shay Shay.
Whoa, no. No.
Virmvarm. Saint Martha.
She looks pretty pissed.
Yeah, right? Is that just default?
Vox should have this as an expression.
Yes. Are we sure that isn't Vox?
I'm not, no.
Bleach Gags on vacation. Back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Majestic Star Dragon.
And it'd be cool if that card ever fucking did anything.
He says the same thing
rough.
every week, it feels like.
I have a suggestion for the next Capcom fighting collection.
Up?
I can't read it from here.
Oh,
So
I mean, it's not in English. That won't help you.
the top part isn't okay.
No, none of that.
Man,
is.
yeah, I
So,
don't-
Technomancer?
I assume that's the giant robot fighting game. I thought
Techromancer, okay.
they.
Isn't Cybot the...
I don't know.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've never played Techromancer, sorry.
Whoa! Marketable furry space axolotl be upon ye!
Ball-peen hammer.
He's a good little dude.
Fucking scrimblow ass motherfucker.
Thank you very much to our podlords.
Thank
Thank you,
Lords.
Podlords. And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/GBpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits such as early access to Chugging Bleach and Pokemon Go to the Movies, our 2 monthly anime review podcasts. There is a very short amount of time I get to keep saying Pokemon Go to the Movies. For the record. Slightly longer with Bleach. You also get extended content for other shows we do, such as Gamer Premonitions and Armchair Devs. You also get commentary tracks for Cursed Content Club, and every other month you get a Blessed Blontent Blub where you vote on a good movie we have to watch and then talk about. For example, Krull.
Great movie, of course.
A movie where, according to Dan, I tried really hard to make up a character arc that characters did not actually have. You also get an entire movie called Isolation 119. This is a real movie wherein a man goes to Thailand for a tax write-off on his vacation to Thailand. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast. And if you don't have any money, it always helps us immensely to tell your friends, rate us on Thursdays, rate us on your podcast with a T on your podcasting app of choice, or leave a comment and subscribe on YouTube right now. Patreon.com/gbpodcasts.
We have news. Hey, Dr. Agro.
Yes.
Would you like to get us started?
Everything's fine in the industry.
Oh, that's awesome! I've
Nothing
been
is
waiting
going
for this
wrong.
all month, all year.
The production of all these AAA games is going fine, and there are no issues.
Fuck yeah.
To report. So maybe the Marathon director Chris Barrett has been fired for misconduct.
Oh my god.
I mean, that's good. He kind of worked there for 30 years, so...
Yeah, apparently multiple female employees came forward with the same old story. Unwanted advances, creepy texts, hints that he might advance their career.
Oh my god.
He was apparently terminated back in March. He has denied wrongdoing, or stated that he didn't think his behavior was untoward or unwanted. There are apparently additional rumors, about Marathon not looking great, probably getting delayed. Not that we have a date for it.
Yeah, delayed until no longer releasing and the company shutting down.
Yep.
Oh, Bungie.
Man, every angle of this company is just rotten, isn't it? Real good choice, Sony. Incredible choice. No one would have told you we were wrong to do it. Oh wait,
wait. We all
did that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was. Oops. Guess you should have listened to Big Think Dimension.
How do
That's
you
not
not
true.
have
I've been told by
advisors?
multiple people it's impossible. It's impossible to tell what games will succeed or fail.
How do you
Never mind the fact that the developers always seem to have a really good fucking idea when you talk to them after the fact.
Yeah. Of course they do.
This isn't entirely here or there, but I really need people, guys.
Yeah.
Nobody knows more clearly that a game is a piece of shit than the people who worked on it.
No, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Games aren't bad because these people are delusional or incompetent. They're bad because management is poor at planning, or made them ship too early or made them develop the game without resources. There's not maybe once in a while you have a really delusional indie dev like Jonathan Blow,
Mm-hmm.
but do you think the guys who shipped Suicide Squad are oh, we thought people would like it? No, they didn't.
Right.
Yeah. They were man, this is a piece of shit. I hope I still have a job in 6 months. I'm willing to bet money that was probably the atmosphere at Concord at the absolute latest a week after they revealed that game for real.
Yeah, I'm very excited for devs to start talking in depth about it as the months go on, because I'm sure by the end of the year, we will get a very large article from some sort of press sneak fuck, probably.
Right, either that or just even more open stuff after the studio is closed.
I have some news. Apparently, when it comes to Astrobot, the director, Nicolas Duché, says they are planning speedrun and other fun stages as DLC for Astrobot.
Oh, so won't have that out of the box.
That's what it sounds like, according to the Famitsu interview. We plan to release DLC that includes playful stages and exciting speedrun stages like in the previous game by the end of the year. So please look forward to it. At least it's by the end of the year. Should have been part of the core game.
Sounds like it shipped a little bit too early.
Yeah.
That
I hope
almost
that's free
like
DLC.
That's every major game. They did say free.
Okay.
Did they? Oh wow.
That was in the tweet you just read.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yep.
I'm so good at saying
You know who,
words. If only I was
who
as
else
good at
is in
reading
that
them.
game?
Who?
You know who else? Crash Bandicoot as a cameo.
Right. Oh my god, that's right.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
Certainly no one would
That
be
means
mishandling him right now.
that means there's more Sony PlayStation exclusive games with Crash Bandicoot in them than Xbox ones.
So the hope with Astrobot is that the core game has some speedrun levels,
Right.
and that they will add more in DLC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing the word free anywhere on this, though, Chris. Like, they just say they plan on releasing DLC that includes.
Oh, maybe it was a different tweet I said, but they did clarify that it's free.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Weird. DLC kind of has the idea of...
Yeah, it's probably actually an update, but a weird translation made it come off as DLC.
Right, because
That's
it's a
what I'm
Famitsu
assuming.
interview.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that'd be worth noting here in a week advance of it coming out, just to set expectations accordingly. Either expect no speedrun stages, or maybe fewer than you were hoping for. Let's go to Bob for news. Bob,
Sure.
Bob, you want to?
No. Do we have to start with that?
Oh fuck!
Wait, did Chris also write it? Can we just let Chris cover it? No,
Hey, Chris,
No,
Bob dropped this thing and you're
Bob,
Bob,
I didn't read that much of it. I only read that it was a Spyro crossover. Which fucking how dare you? How dare you? Crash should not be the A guy in that pairing up. This is just like Gears of War when they made the insufferable funny nerd guy the leader of the Coltrane Baird team instead of it being Coltrane. How dare you be like, we thought Crash might ride Spyro. Fuck you. How about Spyro drag Crash's ass to relevance?
Look, they already brought back Crash with Crash 4, so I guess it's from that angle. Crash is now more relevant.
Crash is now more relevant because Skylanders had been dead for like 8 years.
But the fucking Spyro collection sold as well as the Crash one. Just make a fucking Spyro
But then
game.
Crash got Crash 4. Now
Yep.
he's a big star again.
Yep.
Not big enough considering, that game that sold 6-7 million copies didn't sell enough.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to hear that anything Activision thinks reflects reality.
Right. That isn't the case. Yeah, so that's basically all we know. The art came out, art leaked. You see that on screen where it's got the Crash riding on Spyro. Yeah, that was a thing until it wasn't, because Activision said enough. It didn't sell well enough. We're done. We're moving away from the single player games and making only Call of Duty. This makes sense. This makes sense.
It just makes
It just makes sense. Everyone's right to defend them. Absolutely.
Does anyone else want to talk about the game industry burning down?
I'd really rather not, but I think we might have one or two more stories about that.
We got to get this out of the way. What else do we got here? You know what? We can count shutting down a mobile game.
Sure.
Do we have things other than that? We have the Ravensoft thing. We should cover the Ravensoft thing as a part of this. Yeah, let's cover those two real quick. Chris?
Okay, let's see. So Raven Software has filed a complaint with the National Labor Board because Microsoft is not willing to talk to them in good faith. Basically, Microsoft keeps leaving them on red with these union negotiations.
Oh.
What?
Who could have
I'm
seen this
so
coming?
Reminder that
surprised.
Microsoft very explicitly was like, yes, we will honor
Labor
these union
unions,
things.
yeah.
Please do not shatter our spine, FTC.
What? Microsoft did the opposite of what they said they were going to do during the acquisition. What?
I've never heard this story before. It's brand new. Unpredictable.
It definitely didn't happen recently or nonstop.
Yeah, that court case is still going on, by the way, the appeal, and the FTC just gets to keep coming in saying, hey, they've already gone back on this shit that they said that they wouldn't do.
Cool. This is a bold strategy, and I look forward to how it pays off.
I really do think it would be funny if they lose that case and then Microsoft has to spend 2 years shitting their pants as it goes to the Supreme Court, which has like a 50-50 shot of saying we hate tech companies right now, die.
We also have some Final Fantasy Brave Exvius news, which fits in this category.
Final Fantasy Brave Exvius Global is ending service October 30th. The Japanese version will remain in service. You know, an issue that these free-to-play games, not just mobile games, but also console ones, are going to have to... I believe that if the gaming industry had good market research and data firms, which it seems like they just don't.
Yeah, no.
I feel like if please hire me, I'll help work on the methodology of this. It seems like if you went and surveyed consumers, I'm willing to bet a lot of people would be like, I am less likely to play these games because they die and all your money goes with them.
Uh-huh.
And like the cost of maintaining a server for something this small cannot be that much.
You would think not, no.
But they don't want to pay
least
even
do an offline version, like you can update these games to be like offline.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
Worth noting that they also took down Kingdom Hearts Dark Road or whatever the
Union Cross.
Yeah, no, specifically the thing that came after that. The thing that was about Xehanort.
Yeah, Dark Road.
Okay.
It's like it got delisted. So like these things have a lifespan. Maybe I think something from Kingdom Hearts was delisted this week.
Yeah, Union Cross. Like Shibuya just mentioned that.
Unchained Cross. That's a different thing than Union Cross.
Lo Siento.
But yeah, just stop. Like you guys are like, nobody's gonna get in on these franchise mobile games anymore. Like you've slit their throats entirely.
Apparently, Union Cross and Dark Road are one app, so they were both tied together and delisted. Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Great. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Just put them all in the same bucket.
Look forward to the 45-minute long CG movie that comes out on the next Kingdom Hearts thing.
Fuck.
What's the collection of movies like this?
That's not true. They'll have remade 2 other games by then that will be in this collection. Maybe they'll remake Recoded.
It was like, what is this even left? Oh, that Recoded, which already got a movie made out of it.
And 358 over 2 days.
Yeah. That doesn't have a remake yet. And honestly, out of all of the games that should have gotten a remake, I feel like that one was the one I was most interested
That is the
in.
one that has the most shooters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, that isn't Kingdom Hearts 2.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, the reason why that one's interesting is because that is between... God, I'm terrible with names. Axel? I was like, don't call him Lee.
That is Roxas and Shion. Like,
yeah,
they're the
Roxas,
two main characters
Shion,
of
and
that
Axel.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Renji.
His name's Axel. I know he's just Renji
I
and
don't
Co,
know.
but we
He
have to
shows up
respect
to
him.
fight. He shows up to fight Xemnas in KH3. That goes pretty much like a Renji fight would go.
Okay, Axel, before you go out there, just know they can only attack once. Sora attacks once, goes to attack again, he goes, 2! This guy gets instantly owned. Bob, you have another note in the industry sort of shutting down.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go to that.
Blue Protocol, the game we've been hearing about for a few years now, was Bandai Namco's answer to Genshin Impact. It's ending service in Japan on January 18th.
Okay.
It's never the Western release is canceled. They were planning to do that with Amazon Games,
and it's just
yes,
done.
Yeah.
My understanding is that they made an MMO, like it was an action-based MMO. Which go look up footage of this game. I looked up actual gameplay, and it's like a guy spending 30 seconds doing double axe combos on a taper, like a tapir, like the little pig things.
Yeah.
Him just wailing on one for like 30 minutes. Thank you, Dan, for showing me that there's a channel called Blue Protocol Central that has to put up a video just saying, I was wrong.
I didn't even look at it because I'm just looking for gameplay footage. But yes, if you search Blue Protocol on YouTube, the second highest returner is Blue Protocol Central. Title of the video, Blue Protocol shutting down forever. Line break, I was wrong, crying emoji.
Yeah.
But yeah, they it was an MMO, but then it had all these gotcha systems in it because of
my
Genshin
God.
Impact.
Yeah, no.
So it just seemed like it was completely fucked up in terms of like
Time to kill.
Yeah, not just time to kill, but like monetization.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and people were telling me who played the Japanese were like, yeah, it has no content. Like, you just go out and hit guys for hours.
So it was like a Korean MMO.
Yeah.
Jesus. And then it has completely sauceless designs. Yeah,
because
this was
create
doomed.
a character.
This was so doomed.
Yeah, I just imagine like Wuthering Waves and the Arknights one being like, you motherfuckers, we can't put it into their brain. These can die. Let us come out first.
Once Waves came out on phone and PC.
How hard would it be to try this game out in America?
I don't know. You probably have to set up like a VPN or something.
Yeah.
Like, this is on PS5, right? It's not just PC.
I don't remember. I'm not sure.
Apparently Bandai Namco is shutting down their entire online games division that also did Gundam Evolution.
Good goddamn.
Wow. I can't say I'm surprised, but Jesus. Oh yeah, I do have one more thing that's just like, really? Okay. It's not as bad of an industry thing. It's just like, what are you doing?
Okay.
So, Star Wars Outlaws update came out.
Yep. Game just launched. Updates are good.
Yeah, updates are great. It corrupts your old save file.
That is bad.
This is a game you could spend $110 to play early, and it corrupts your save file.
Yeah, again, like...
Fuck this industry.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Also...
Why should I ever buy a game at launch?
You shouldn't, especially not from Ubisoft. They just proved that. Their apology is giving you like 100 points of Ubisoft units. These apparently can be somehow redeemed in the video game, but you have to go through their Ubisoft like Uplay store loop somehow, and you also get a trinket that you put in your ship. And like, yeah, that's enough.
Eat shit.
Yeah.
Well, what else are they supposed to do? Give you money? That'd be bad for their bottom line. This game already cost $700 million. You wouldn't know looking at the characters having a conversation, but it did. So they can't do anything to harm its bottom line. This game has to sell 12 million copies, or else Ubisoft will go out of business.
That's insane.
Yeah.
God, I'm so sick.
Yeah.
Right. This industry desperately needs better consumer protection.
Yeah.
It really does. That's insane.
But it's okay, though. It's entertainment, so we will have no consumer protections. Well, I can finally put our guest away. Bye, guest. Bye. And for anyone who's like, you didn't talk about the Mana news. We talked about that earlier, and I don't want to talk about it again.
Yeah.
I don't.
Let's never talk about it ever again.
I feel like that price hike for PS5s in Japan kind of sits in the same zone.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to group that in. Fucking...
Apparently, I have been told by people that this is explicitly because of fucking Black Myth Wukong. Because it is still cheaper to buy in Japan than China.
Yep. Yeah,
so they have to raise the price again, so people stop buying them in PS5.
Yep.
Stop buying them in Japan.
And then exporting them to China. Yeah. That was a problem for years. And then it calmed down, and then I guess Black Myth Wukong came out, and then it went insane.
Black Myth Wukong like literally caused all PS5s to be sold out in China. That game has already sold like 15 million copies.
Holy shit.
That game is literally going to cause an industry shifting paradigm where everybody's now like, we have to pay attention to China now. Look forward to Assassin's Creed you play as Wukong in 3 years, assuming Ubisoft is still in business, which it probably won't be.
Oh my God.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that sentence. Like, what are we going to do? Make a shit ton of Souls likes? What's going to be different?
Pandering will be different. Hooray! Yeah, and also the price on was it PSVR 2 and the controller?
Everything.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah, I don't understand why those
stupid.
jumped. Yeah, this
Jesus Christ.
Man,
I bet the Japanese feel really great about the situation with the PS5. I bet they feel real pride.
I'm sure that they aren't just losing the entire.
They don't at all feel betrayed or left behind or ignored.
I really do wonder at what point, like Herman Holt, like we go entirely back to like, hey, Sony, PlayStation has 3 CEOs right now. 2 are Japanese. I wonder how long before all 3 are Japanese and Herman Holst is off in an igloo somewhere on an ice drift.
So insane. Ugh.
You know what? The thing that sucks is that Sony is doing better this gen than last gen still.
Yeah.
Because they got the huge COVID buff, which gave them an enormous head start out the gate, and they don't have any competition this gen because their competition is dead in a ditch.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to get insane next year when they have any form of competition for the first time in years.
Yeah, they've gotten the
it's
most
gonna be
rope
weird.
ever.
Like it's gonna seem almost cartoonish how like from 6 months Sony will go from talking about how big their dick is to all our bones are hollow. We have to shut down 18 studios.
God, that actually would get me if Sony started doing that to any of the long-time PlayStation studios.
Yeah, that's when
I completely go, I don't give a fuck about anything anymore. Fuck everything. Unless it's Naughty Dog.
Yeah, sadly.
They all are kind of already gutted, it feels like.
It's so savage to feel that way, but it's like you just got done developing a multiplayer game for countless years, and then you got bullied into canceling it by people who are sex pests, ? And also not successful.
Yeah, terrible at running that exact thing that they talk about how good they're running.
Every other studio at Sony I care about. Naughty Dog, it's a little rough. Anyways, Bob, we have more PS5 related news.
Yeah, we do. This comes from Billy Kuhn, a noted leaker on the Twitter. We got information about the PS5 Pro. He drew a sketch of the design. It doesn't have a disc drive. That's worrying. It has the regular DualSense controller, and it's expected to be announced sometime in the first half of September.
Yeah,
September.
Some people have been reporting like, yeah, no, it does not come with the disc drive. You have to buy it separate.
Yeah, that's.
Wasn't there something on the Game of the Year about us not wanting to see something on
that exact thing?
As long as it isn't $600, the prophecy won't be fulfilled.
Oh, it won't be 600. It'll be 650.
Yeah, it's going to be over 600.
Man,
because they're the cockiest Sony could be.
Even like, I intended on buying this, but now I've really been thinking about it. It's like you better come out and be like, look at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, looking much better in performance mode because we have a better TAA solution. Look at this game looking much better because we have a better TAA solution. Look at this game; it has better performance. Like you better fucking sell this thing, Sony.
Yeah, no, this isn't a proposition that big. Like if this is over $600 and you buy a disc drive separate, you got to sell it hard. You got to have a ton of games listed immediately for you get upgrades right now. And you need to show that.
And it has to be a lot of games. It has to be most shit that's come out. It
has to be every fucking game you have shipped, Sony. If I do not get Returnal day one looks better, fuck you.
Yeah, every first party game, every game even released this year. You should be with every third party studio making sure that happens.
I mean, yeah, if I fucking boot Like a Dragon 8 and it doesn't look better on the PS5 Pro, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Especially if it costs $730 through creative math.
Yeah, because this is a pro console. It should have a disc drive.
Obviously,
what is
the fucking notion of a professional console
that doesn't even read the disc? Do I have to buy the Ethernet separate? Is it just Wi-Fi? Do I have to buy the...
It's so professional, you have to buy a USB Ethernet port.
Yeah, you buy a USB hub because it only has one USB out.
It only has one USB out. One.
And you gotta use that for your HDMI, for your Ethernet, and for your controllers.
Yeah, this is bad. But hey, you know what lines up perfectly? A month ago or more, or all throughout the year, when we said, yeah, I would expect the PS5 Pro to leak really hard at the end of August and the beginning of September. We told people this for months, and they kept going, is it going to happen? And we're like, if it doesn't leak by then that will be concerning. But until then, calm down.
Right. Also, this thing is hideous. It's not hideous. It's incredibly boring.
It's like the same design, but
It's
you did
identical.
a Wolverine cut through
Right,
it.
like, that's it.
3 or 4 claws.
Let's hope maybe anything different. Stand out a little bit. The PS4's like different versions stood out more than this.
Yeah, that honestly is the thing that gets me the most. They have the most to lose with this because it costs so much. You should have made a bold fucking design so that way when your friend comes over and they see you got the Pro model,
something
their
that
dick's
sits
blown off.
flat. Make something that sits flat. What is your fucking problem? Make something that sits flat. Oh, people made fun of how the PS4 and the Xbox One looked like VCRs. Go fuck yourself. You shouldn't be that receptive to criticism that doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, I
In
think
the complete opposite direction, I was trying to figure out what the PS4 Pro version of the PS5 and like, does it have a second popped collar?
I guess.
No, it's actually you're thinking of it the wrong axis. So think of the bottom of the unit. Okay, now sit it flat. Okay, and now imagine. So you've got those 2 angles coming off of the base. Imagine a third wing.
Just one third, just one more wing. Not
it just goes up at an even steeper incline. So you got like this bracket and then an additional one. So imagine another white layer with the black front. Now that's a design that would make people go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I don't know why they're like the PS5 gen cannot sit flat. Like that's their aesthetic for the gen. They're like, no, can't do it. It's got to fit.
Who knows? Maybe this one has a bottom. Maybe we just don't see it from this angle. Maybe they actually built the bottom, and then your friend's going to come over. It's going to be like at the end of a GameSack episode skit, and he's going to be like, "Oh wow, you have a console that sits perfectly flat. I'm so impressed by your fucking really expensive console. Wow, look at that. You didn't have to stick a peg up its ass in order to sit it down on the floor. How very impressive. I will take one of these for $730."
So does it not come with disk drive? Does that mean they're going to have a different form factor of disk drive they sell, or is this actually the exact same size as?
I assume
it will be identical.
It looks like this is because
Yeah,
it's identical on the bottom, which is actually going to be the case.
Like,
yeah.
To sell this, they need to upsell people because by the time this comes out, they'll have already sold roughly 70 million PS5s, maybe even more, but. You need to upsell people. It's pretty fucking hard to upsell people if you tell them the hard drive from that PS5 Lite you already own. You're not going to be able to use that one, sweet.
You mean
better
the
give us another
drive?
$90? Yeah, or the disc drive from the PS5 Slim you already own. Like, no.
Hey,
that makes a hard sell to a zero sell.
Let's talk about this. If it doesn't have a disc drive, what do you think the fucking base capacity is going to be?
Right.
Rumors are 2 terabytes.
Thank you. But Jesus Christ, maybe I'm crazy. I would rather you have packed in the fucking disc drive.
Absolutely.
And give me one again.
I've owned your console for 4 years. I bought discs.
That's the insane
fucking
part.
insane.
Well, you can buy a disc. Well, you just have to pay $700, Bob.
Yeah, that's all. That's fine.
No, I'm sorry. It's $680 plus tax, so it's probably closer to $750.
Anyway, we're getting to a point of this discussion where I've been getting to a point of thinking about this where I went, man, if I wasn't planning on giving my PS5 to Tosh, I would just hit the abort button on the notion of getting a Pro this gen, frankly. It just seems too close, and I went the whole last gen without upgrading, and as I said, performance on these consoles are really great.
Was a lot worse. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, performance on these consoles are fucking great. The core console, the launch console, is strong. It's compelling fucking value somehow. Thank you, PC manufacturers. In 2024, 4 years after it fucking launched. So I didn't need a problem. Is temporal AA exists.
Yeah, no, every game is starting to look like all the highest end games are now running bad and looking bad.
And I'm gonna give Tosh my PS5. So it's like I get a double win,
right,
by buying this one unit. A really strong double win because Jesus, I hate FSR2. It looks so bad.
It does. It is. Like, one of the worst things that happened to gaming, like, on a tech side.
I see someone in chat, Sony is so screwed if the Switch 2 is under $500. Nintendo's not going to ship a $500 Switch 2.
Yeah, it's going to be $400 at absolute most. It might even be $350, like this original Switch. You know, that thing, here's what they'll do. They'll say, here's the Switch 2, it's $350. The original Switch, every model now has a $100 price cut. Oh, look, we just overtook the PS2 as the best-selling video game platform in human history. What a shock.
So I don't know what to say other than what I said.
Yeah.
I really hate FSR 2. If I didn't, there would be no world.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, now I get to spend the entire rest of the gen thinking about what a gross excess of power I'm throwing at both my PC games and my console games. Of like, oh yeah, like a Dragon 8, that justifies 40 fucking teraflops.
For context, there have only been 5 games this entire gen that were like, we don't have a 60 FPS mode, we're 30, that weren't patched in later. Actually,
Right.
This includes games that were patched in later. But did you know that 4 of those 5 games are Xbox exclusives?
That makes perfect sense.
Redfall launched at 30. Starfield launched at 30. Hellblade is never going to be anything but 30. And Avowed, we got confirmation, is 30. And then it came out, yeah, we're having issues with the Series S.
Mm-hmm. Boat anchor.
Yeah, there are even developers willing to come out and pretend that 30 is okay. It's just farcical. Like, that's 5 games among hundreds that have launched this gen. 60 is the standard now. It just is.
The medium was locked to 30 frames per second.
Oh. Well, that wasn't this gen. That was last gen, right?
I don't know.
I know
There was a bespoke PS5 version. Oh, that's why you thought it was last gen. It was Xbox exclusive for the tiniest bit.
Yeah.
And then it came out on PS5.
Good. And it was 30 there and 60 on PS5? Or did it get an update with a performance mode? Because I'm looking at YouTube
on
videos.
PS5, so it's a little... But, you know, it's not locked 30. As far as I can tell. I mean, that thing didn't even run well on PC. Like, I'm seeing countless people being like, I can't get it to run at 60 on a 3080, which was like the highest.
Yeah, I guess if we're just like stuff that doesn't run well and is around 30, like Dragon's Dogma 2.
But yeah, like here's the thing. Frame rate, the frame rate's not real, it doesn't matter shit was always developers not being allowed to say our publisher is not giving us the time or money to optimize this fucking game, so it's 30.
Also, like, prior generations were less capable of 60 frames per second.
Yes,
like, the
that's
PS4
true.
has a very weak CPU.
Mm-hmm.
The PS5 doesn't.
Yeah.
I
genuinely, I'm so considerate to devs, but I think we can all fucking agree, if your game does not run at 60, even still, you made it wrong.
You made it wrong. Or in the case of Avowed, Microsoft is making you push it out too fast. Like, I guarantee when that game comes to PS5, it will run at 60.
Yeah. That's like, it's obviously that with Avowed.
Like, here's the really big problem with all these. Oh, well, we're not sure we need, like, 60's not that important things. All those games look like shit. They look exactly like a PS4 game. You don't have anything you're offering for this. Oh, we're only 30 shit. At least Starfield remembers if you left a carton of milk across the galaxy, except it's not actually galaxy. It's a series of loading zones because you broke the illusion and made a bad game. But like, why the fuck is Avowed at 30? That game doesn't look good. It's not going to have exciting action-packed combat. It's a Western RPG. It's going to be bad.
And the best part about all of this is the PS5 Pro isn't even going to help those games that run at 30 run at 60. It's more capable of doing ray tracing, but your bottleneck's probably directly on the CPU. Now, there are some games that are memory bandwidth locked and maybe, you know, the slightest bit, tiniest bit CPU locked or GPU locked, and it'll help those, but those are probably the exception to the rule. There's probably, like, Star Wars Outlaws? You think that's going to hit 60 frames per second on the PS5 Pro? Like in a mode that doesn't look like potato? Because even it has a 60.
Oh, wow.
It's unstable.
Yeah, of course.
But God, that's sad when even Star Wars Outlaws is like, yeah, I have a 60 frames per second mode. Like, I'm thinking back on that, it's like, oh my God, that's even more ludicrous.
Yeah, it's like, how do you not have a mode that like just uncaps and tries? Like, that seems silly.
So anyway,
yeah, like even Dragon's Dogma 2 shipped so hot. Like, by the time it's done, it'll probably be good, close to okay with VRR. Like, it's
We gotta move on.
Yeah, we got it. We still have all the.
We're not even done with Chris.
Oh, we're not even done with Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Let's get to the rest of your news.
Concord is a bomb. Suck it, Dan. I was afraid I'd somehow be cosmically wrong because you kept telling that joke about how I'm just doomed to not be right about this. But it peaked at 660 players on Steam, which is less than Immortals of Avium, which was 760-ish, I think.
Yeah, they let people play it on that beta weekend, so there wasn't even curiosity driving sales.
Yeah. And that's like the thing. Like we played the beta and we're like, oh no, Chris is right. This is dead.
Yeah, this has nothing.
It still would have been really funny though.
It would have somehow against all odds.
14 million concurrent players. You know what?
Literally the day the game came out, Valve's like, okay, you can talk about Deadlocked now.
So here's the thing I realized through the power of incredible deduction. You know what this means, right? Destruction All-Stars did better. That's
that
insane.
game. They never charged money for that game.
No, they gave it away for free for the first month. Past that, they actually did.
Didn't they never charge money for it? Like it never went off being free?
No,
I don't think it ever
sure.
went off being free.
I'm pretty sure it was just the free game for that month that came out. But you're missing the point. The point is, more people know who Angelo is.
I think that's entirely because we're ill.
Yes. No, it wasn't $70, chat. I know because I pre-ordered it at GameStop and I'm like, I need to cancel that pre-order. And they're like, what is this game?
You cannot just buy Destruction All-Stars. You can only buy a digital deluxe edition. The base game is only available on PS Plus tiers.
Huh. The original announced plan after the original announced plan was that they were like, first month it's gonna be free on PlayStation Plus for that month. And I'm now curious, when did that change? Because they had a price. It was like $20 to buy the game. And I was like, I wouldn't have given them $20 to find out what was in this box.
Yeah, I think that it might even be that was always the thing of $20 actually at the single player stuff.
Yeah.
And we never did that because it's Destruction All-Stars.
I mean, I played through one of the campaigns.
Oh.
Yeah, because it comes with one.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, the point is Concord and Destruction All-Stars should not be similar. One of these came out 4 years after a console did. You know, that thing that used to be a whole generation? 4 years. And so there's no excuse of this is a launch game that we kind of rushed. And we maybe threw a lot of money behind a kind of flimsy idea, but it's okay. You get this weird game. No, Concord's like, hey, what's up? We hired the entire populace of a small island nation to help us make gray cubes. Oh, you don't want to eat gray cubes.
Weird.
Oops.
What?
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on. Concord's dead.
It was really funny seeing people be like, "No, it died because it was $40. People didn't want to spend money on it. I swear." It's like,
no,
it died during the beta
like,
weekend, man. That's not what happened. Yeah, no. You can't.
Foam Stars goes free to play October 4th. I didn't know they ever charged money for it. I thought they gave up during that free month.
That was also a game that was either free on PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Plus Extra.
It was on Plus regular.
It was just normal Plus, yeah.
Yeah, because I think I redeemed it, but never played it because it's Foam Stars, and I played the beta.
Stars, yeah.
We played.
That sucked.
Wouldn't it be so funny if it somehow takes off being free?
It'll do better than Concord. It already has, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has designs anyone could like.
6 months from now, people will be like, "Oh, Foam Stars, that piece of shit Square thing with the
Splatoon
weird
bubbles.
Splatoon things." Yeah. 6 months from now, people will be like, "What the fuck's Concord?"
Yeah, it's sad because it's like Foam Stars is a much worse video game than Concord. If you just take away all aesthetics and you're like, a game I would play, Concord easily. Concord plays like a game I'd ever want to play, unlike Foam Stars, which just sucked up and down in every way.
I'm going to have to say too close to call for me because I like some of the matches I did in Foam Stars. I can't even really say that about Concord.
You know what? They announced Croc, Legend of the Gobos remastered. This comes along with the revival of Argonaut games. It looks unbelievably fake, like they super smoothed it, and it's out on everything this year.
Very funny.
It's a good bit.
It is.
When there's no more room in hell.
I wonder if they're gonna like give him analog controls and just completely destroy the structure of the game.
I'm excited for our death stream.
Of course. Is this just Croc 1 or is it like Croc 2?
It's just
only Croc 1.
They're all in on Croc 1.
All right.
They're giving this the care it needs.
I guess you could say that.
And Remedy and Annapurna Interactive have announced a strategic cooperation agreement on Control 2 and bringing Control and Alan Wake to film and television. Annapurna funds development and gets TV movie rights. Remedy gets better revenue share when the initial investment is paid back. Remedy retains full ownership and control of both IPs.
Hell yeah.
Good.
Neat.
Sounds like a good deal. And no one sold them out to Game Pass. I'm a little bitter at
Microsoft
505.
ain't paying out for that.
That's true. That's true.
Minor Game Pass news. They said that new dog shit tier that doesn't get day one games, it'll be around a year.
So
Yeah.
So when an oh my god. Okay.
PS5 players will get Indiana Jones faster than basic Game Pass players.
Yeah, because those aren't real. We don't care about them. They're not real citizens of our
the
community.
Xbox Nation.
Yeah, the Xbox Nation does not accept you. Yeah. I'm not even surprised. They could have been like, you never get them. And I also wouldn't have been surprised.
And then we also have this Avowed thing.
We talked about that already.
Kind of. Did you mention the comment from the dev?
Oh yeah, one of the developers who I think worked on Suicide Squad just retweeted the news and be like, yeah, the Series S sucks. I wish it didn't exist.
A shocking and controversial take that everyone should have seen coming from miles away.
That thing we've said 100 times. Wow.
Yeah, we sure said it all throughout the tail end of 2020 when they finally committed to the plan of making it and actually announced it at the last second. It's almost like even Microsoft was internally conflicted on whether or not to ship this fucking bastard.
But my bedroom, though.
Please, won't someone think about my bedroom? No. We also had a Nintendo Indie Partner Direct, an Indie World, if you will. I'm going to go ahead and just Direct Indie Edition. There we go. We're going to bust through these really fast. Balatro announced Witcher 3, Vampire Survivors, Dave the Diver, Among Us free update. It came out the day this aired.
Yup.
Neva, the game from the people who made Gris, is out October 15th.
Still looks cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hope it doesn't suck this time.
Moth Cubit, spelt with a K. Spring 2025 is an RPG with pixel art graphics where you play as a bug person working in a modern day company. Probably Undertale inspired in the notes. Also on PC. Coffee Talk Tokyo announced it's out 2025. Yo, we got a coffee video game?
Yeah. Apparently, this is a whole series of games that have happened that's about talking to people in coffee shops.
Sea of Stars, Throes of the Watchmaker DLC. It's set at a circus. Main characters get moves, and a new character is added. It's free. Out in the spring, and JonTron still isn't back in the game.
Of course not.
That's a feature. Put it in the trailer. Shrek! Special pack for Power Wash Simulator.
That game is unstoppable.
It's paid DLC.
Have they done a
It's out
Shovel
this
Knight
fall.
thing yet?
They haven't.
It feels like they should, though, right?
They should have, right? Right? Anyways, I'm excited for the last seahorse to power wash some Shrek.
I sure hope it plays Smash Mouth.
Some Shrek. Some. Morsels announced. It's a roguelike with really interesting, really ugly pixel art style. Play as a mouse that transforms into different creatures, fighting evil cats. February. It is also on PS5 and PC.
It looked kind of neat. Other than being roguelike, I was like, this could be cool, but that roguelike, that one word there, ruined your whole trailer.
Yep, that's when I memory hold it.
Date Everything, a dating sim about dating all the objects in your house, is out October 24th. You know who won't be in that timer, Chan?
No.
Because she might have died during this episode.
It's a long episode of Big Thing.
Man, people are mad about that game for external context reasons.
Cool. Peglin, a roguelike pachinko RPG, is already out, and I want to go check that out.
Yeah, I'm a little ashamed at how interested I am in that.
I know, right?
It's been on PC for a couple of years, too.
Really?
Oh.
You know, I was pretty interested. Pico Park 2 with up to 8-player puzzle platforming action is out when this it's already out. It's already out.
It's out.
It's timed exclusive, out for Xbox and PC September 12th.
Timed exclusive for 2 weeks. Yay. You're so cool.
Well, then it's not on it's on PC. It's still a console.
I mean, I guess so. The Xbox isn't anything anymore.
I guess. And Pizza Tower is out.
My God. Pizza Tower on the Switch? It's not on anything else, but it's on the Switch at least.
It's on the Switch. People were like, "Oh, this took forever to get ported." I'm like,
It took a year.
It's been like a year and a few months. What the hell?
That's pretty short for a game that like that. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that seems like it'd be a pretty complex porting process.
Oh, that's true. And there is a physical version that is not being made by Limited Run Games. It's
Thank
being
God.
made by Fangamer. Thank God.
Man.
So this delineation of this is the partner showcase exists within the show itself?
Yes,
That's
they put up the title cards like, okay, we're doing this Indie World. Get those two annoying hosts out of here.
Get out of here, Indie World. We're here to talk about our partners. Tetris Forever was shown off. It has a bunch of different versions of Tetris. Let's run through them. Famicom Tetris, Hatris, Tetris 2 plus Bomb Bliss, Super Bomb Bliss DX, Tetris Battle Gaiden. Hell yeah. Super Tetris plus Bomb Bliss, Super Tetris 2 plus Bomb Bliss, and Super Tetris 3. Aggro, how many of those did you know existed before this?
I didn't know what the fuck Bomb Bliss was.
Right? And I think there's supposed to be even more they haven't announced.
I don't remember what Hatris is, so Famicom Tetris.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's the only one I was sure of. This trailer started, I'm like, oh God, is Dan still asleep?
Turns out, yes. Or trying to sleep. I'm like, I don't need to watch the direct. Then they started announcing things. I'm like, I need to watch the direct. New Tetris Time Warp, where it switches between different styles as you play. Also, there's
Cool
a
as shit.
documentary including that is the history of Tetris. It's out this year. It is also coming out on PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. I did not see this next one at all. Star Overdrive? Hoverboard adventure game, timed exclusive.
Yeah, it's got like a cell shaded art style. You go around on a hoverboard and upgrade and stuff. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, like you hit stuff with your hoverboard. You put your hoverboard on your back and use it like a jetpack.
Yeah,
It
I'm
looks
kind
neat.
of sad that they Switch exclusive for a while because it's got a big world and it runs bad. So
scope, yeah.
I'm like, I'll be waiting a bit.
And that's out in 2025. Goat Simulator came out for the Switch.
Whoa.
Goat Simulator 3 came out for the Switch. Worms Armageddon Anniversary Edition was announced. It's also on PS4, 5, Xbox, and PC. The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky the First, out in 2025. But Bob, that game already came out. What the fuck?
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff about this one.
Yeah, this has a bunch of like side notes of like we don't know who's publishing it. They might be publishing it themselves.
Publishing it. I assume it'll be Xseed because it's apparently using their script, which Xseed would still own. I'm pretty sure.
I would think. Sometimes the right goes back to the
It might be a
original.
Switch exclusive, but Falcom doesn't make their own Switch versions even. So that doesn't make any sense. Like I'm just not gonna think about it until they announce more stuff. Because Falcom is weird and cagey and does weird shit constantly.
Yeah, I'm curious to get more detail on this. I'm gonna be honest. I was really trying to fall asleep, but I was watching the direct by this point. I was like, that game was not 3D like this before.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. Like,
I'm so confused.
I don't think the original ever looked very nice, so it's neat to see this. But it is another one of those like, why are you remaking stuff? Stop.
Yeah, the hype is hampered by the fact it's yet another remake in 2024. And oh my god, we have so many.
Well, they have to remake it because it's a Final Fantasy VII remake situation where it's a weird time loop. That's a guess, but I'm willing to put money on it.
I think they have to remake it because of capitalism. I don't think the time loop is the important driving factor here. SpongeBob SquarePants: The Patrick Star Game. It's got physics-based sandbox gameplay. It's out October 4th. You play as Patrick Star.
Yeah. It's also on consoles that might be able to run a sandbox physics-based game.
That's PS4, 5, Xbox, and PC. I looked at it and went, yeah, that could be fun. I don't know. But you know what's really important, Bob?
What's that?
The combo.
The combo?
Fitness Boxing 3 is out December 5th. Why did they announce this right before we found out, Bob? Miku has a date now.
Finally.
It's like next week.
God, why?
I don't know. Why is Miku Fitness Boxing next fucking week? I'm getting the date. 1 second. The exact date. Yeah, it's September 5th.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why did you do that right after you announced 3?
And Miku Boxing's
anyways,
never shown up in a direct. It should have. It should have been like, hey, we got Miku Boxing.
Maybe there's a whole thing where they're like, you can't play licensed music during a direct.
Huh.
Because I'm trying to remember a time during a direct that they had the original version of a song.
I feel like a Just Dance or something would have.
Yeah, maybe. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Those don't do covers like Fitness.
No.
Right? That would be pretty funny, though.
I mean, I know Ubisoft.
And they were shitty covers.
Right, but come on.
December 5th for Fitness Boxing 3. September 5th for Miku Fitness Boxing. Then we got, I guess, a hype announcement. I guess people care. Capcom Fighting Collection 2. I don't know. Capcom versus SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro. Capcom versus SNK 2 Mark of the Millennium 2001. Project Justice. Capcom Fighting Evolution. Street Fighter Alpha 3 Uppies. Plasma Sword Nightmare of Bilstein. Power Stone 1 and 2. Apparently the games have training modes with hitboxes shown. That's cool as hell. It's got online play and museum. It's out in 2024 and it's on PS4 and PC as well.
2025.
2025, sorry. Holy shit, Power Stone.
Yeah,
Motherfucking Power Stone.
So many of these in this collection is like, thank God, finally. Like that, the Capcom versus SNKs. It's like, how does it take this long? At least now it's in what incredible bundle.
Yeah, no, that's a hell of a bundle. I have no problem buying that bundle just for Power Stone 1 and 2 and then getting a bunch of shit on the side, but these are good.
Can you go back and do Street Fighter again so it doesn't have all that fucking input latency?
Yeah, they should really do that themselves.
You don't even have to do all of them. Just do Third Strike.
Yeah,
it's
do
true.
Third Strike.
I mean, if you just want to sell me Third Strike again with rollback for $20 and low input latency, I'll do it. I'll do it, motherfucker. I have had deranged thoughts of buying a board.
We hooked up the PS3s to play that version of the game.
Yeah. That's still the best version. It's messed up. Yeah, why don't they port that version they had made? It's weird that this also does not include the first version of Project Justice and of Plasma Sword. Like those have a 1. Those are the sequels in most of those. It's Rival Schools and Star Gladiator. So we're just skipping those for whatever reason, which just feels weird.
They need to do one more collection after this.
I guess.
And by one more, I mean a lot more. They made a lot of fighting games.
They did. They made an insane amount of fighting games. Man, remember you could just release video games? Look at this. Capcom versus SNK 2000. SNK 2, 2001.
Wow.
That's 1 year apart.
Whoa.
1 year and we got a new video game.
Crazy.
And then we had a tweet from Itsuno.
Uh-huh.
It's like, yeah, my team worked on most of these games. It's like,
Most?
most of these games are worked on by one team. The guy is still there.
And
he can only release a game every 5 years.
Yeah, it's true. Devil May Cry 5 to Dragon's Dogma 2 is 5 years apart. Oh my god.
This industry is deranged and needs to be fixed.
It is ill. It's been poisoned.
God, I would so much rather have a Power Stone 3 than the Dragon's Dogma 2. What are you thinking?
I mean, me too. But that's not
a little
fair.
That's a little mental.
No, I played Dragon's Dogma 2.
I think you can look at Dragon's Dogma 2 sales and realize that's a little mental.
I didn't say it would be a wise business move. I said I was the Joker, and I approve of Bob's plan.
Look, you could probably release Power Stone 3 and another one of these.
That's
two
true.
different games.
And that's
It wouldn't cost a whole lot of money to make Power Stone 3.
Could you imagine a Power Stone 3 with Dragon's Dogma 2 money? What even is that?
Capcom would probably have a brain disease and go, it has to use the RE engine and be a AAA game. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't need to be that.
I want to know how much they spent on Kinitsugami. Because that's probably this budget scale you should be working with.
Yeah, probably.
Also, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics out September 12th.
Yeah, we didn't have a date on that until just this
It's
week.
weird that they didn't announce it with the date.
Yeah, that is weird. That's so close. That's also another great set of games.
It is. A really good set of games.
I would say not as good because it doesn't include Power Stone, but, you know.
Atelier Yumiya, The Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land is coming out early 2025. It has third-person shooting and sneaking. It's also on PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. Last time was thighs. This time is tits. They got the belt going down in between the boobs. This is a very important design with the belt under the cutoff there. And they even have the character flipped upside down on the box art. Gooners, get your pre-orders.
It seems like it's a darker setting than Atelier games normally have. At least that's what I got from the trailer.
Thoughts, Chris? Anything about this new Atelier?
I mean, it looks like Atelier. Like, it seems like they're moving away from combat more, which is fine. Those games have never been about that. I think it's interesting that they show her doing like Solid Snake shit. And she seems to be temperamental wise a much different type of Atelier protagonist, because usually they're total dipshits. And she seems to be more normal.
I was gonna say
like
sad,
like colder.
Yeah.
Also, people talking about, oh, the Atelier character has never had boobs. First of all, fake fans. You don't even have to go back that far. You can go back to Atelier Shally, on the PS3/Vita, and that girl has gigantic boobs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even just as of cursorily glancing at cover art, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not right. Like, Also,
Ryza has huge boobs. She has big thighs, but she also has giant boobs.
She's so multi-talented. It's her personality that really wins you over.
Everybody's got to pretend like it's the first time a game series ever had boobs because they made it their personality issue to be fucking upset when one does that. Get over it. Have some eyes.
I'm looking at
so embarrassing.
I'm looking at the cover of Atelier Shally.
It's the green-haired girl.
You're fucking insane. You're saying that's a stacked girl.
You have to look at her in game.
Must be a hell of a transformation.
They're big and they move.
The bar has never been higher. Ugh, AVIF. AVIF! Hey, asshole. Everyone, move to JPEG XL. Fuck these other formats. It's back compact.
And you can see them in some of the official art. Like, I feel like this art makes it pretty clear she has some boobs.
I found an image that I believe is the 3D gameplay model. One moment.
Yeah, she also wears that thing that has a strap that goes right between them at all times.
Of course. That's important. Yeah.
So yeah, she has some boobs.
Please, some boobs. Weird. I asked Chris thoughts on it, and then we just talked about boobs for 10 minutes. About like we got really sidetracked. Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster is real.
Yeah,
it's still happening. We promise. It's got 2x and 4x speed boost auto battles. It comes out March 6, 2025. PS5 and Xbox Series versions are also announced.
Yeah, because before it was only announced for PS4 and 360. Sorry, Act 1.
You know what?
360.
You know what? Way more valid platform to release your Xbox game on. We got a number of those kicking around. I feel like you could do something there. Dragon Quest III HD 2D was showed off again. They showed off the new class. I believe people spotted this earlier in concept art.
Probably.
Like, what the fuck is this? Monster Wrangler Vocation. This game comes out November 14th. Then they announced the thing we haven't shut the fuck up about, featuring my man right above me.
Right?
Castlevania Dominus Collection. We're not going to talk about it, except for the full trailer has a comedy bit at the end that's kind of funny.
It's very weird that they even made it.
They did.
I like that.
They did it using the sprite work from the games, the voice lines from Harmony of Despair.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty funny. Civ 7. The Switch is the last place I would play a Civ game.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
know
also-
how long it will take for it to process the AI's moves?
Right?
Very strange.
I need to see the benchmark on every platform it's on. Here's
That'll be a good Digital Foundry video.
It better be a Digital
It better
Foundry
be.
video. Tales of Grace's F remaster. How are we feeling on this?
This is apparently this is pretty hype. Like they seem to actually be trying. Has a lot of features. And it's a part of a new initiative. It's like their 30th anniversary. They add destination icons for where to go. You can toggle on and off enemy encounters. It comes with the DLC costumes. We don't know if it's going to have the Code Geass ones because, licensing stuff. And it's coming to all the platforms. So PS5 Series, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One. And it's going to be 30 frames per second on Switch, 60 frames per second on other consoles, and 120 frames per second on PC. Also, this is made by Tosei. Instead of, I think it's Bandai Namco, some random country.
Okay.
Working on that last one that was terrible, the Vesperia remaster.
Oh, okay.
So Tosei, for people who don't know, they made, of course, the seminal classic, Dragon Ball GT Final Bout.
That's a video game.
But since they've co-developed a bunch of stuff, including Scarlet Nexus and Crisis Core Reunion, they are one of those people that's like a shadow dev company.
Yeah, they're shadow dev. They've even worked on Nintendo shit.
Yeah,
like a number of Nintendo games.
They're listed as like the main guys who ported Breath of the Wild to Switch.
Yeah, they might be important.
Yeah. So I think that they got this. They put out a full spec sheet of like all the different versions. That's where I got the frame rates from, but that also like broke down a bunch of different aspects of what's different on the different consoles.
Cool. Hey, what's up? PC Master Race here. I have a 4K 240 hertz monitor now. 120 ain't enough. I'm gonna need that number to go up twice as high.
Right?
Thank you.
And yeah, we had the Tales of 30th Series anniversary video came out. They talked about this collection. They also said they're working on more projects like this.
What the fuck? Why do you release the world's most dogshit port of Symphonia and then be like, oh, here's this immaculate port of Grace's F?
I don't know.
Maybe they hate Symphonia fans.
I never want to play.
Symphonia didn't need the help.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Like Grace's F, I enjoyed this game when it came out. It clearly is weirdly small and originally made for the Wii.
It was originally made for the Wii. There's a whole like 4-hour prologue that was not in the Wii version. They put in this version.
That's new for F?
Yep. That whole sequence where the whole childhood segment at the start of the game is only for F.
That's insane. I also got sad because I remembered, oh right, the other problem with the Tales of series coming back is they lost like the main character designer and artist died like last year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, what?
They didn't do the character designs for the Arise, but it was a good long time series vet who worked on all of them. It was just the guy who did art direction on all of them.
Okay, because I was like, isn't the character designer fucking Kosuke Fujishima the Oh My Goddess creator?
No, it's the same designer that did Gundam Seed. And
Wikipedia says he's the character designer for almost every Tales of game. Not Graces, but Symphonia, Abyss, Vesperia, Zillia 1 and 2, Zisteria, and Berseria.
Is he
and it
not
looks like
dead?
his art. He's not dead.
I could have sworn.
Okay, so it is the person he did not do Grace's F. Mutsumi Inomata did Grace's F and passed away.
Okay, and he also worked on. Let me double check this. Destiny, Eternia, Destiny 2, Rebirth, Tempests, Innocence, Hearts, Graces, Zillia 2, Zesteria, and Berseria.
Yeah, so she did those.
Yeah,
and then he did the other ones. I guess they split work on the ones where it's both of them.
Right.
So they could still get him back to do the designs, and it would be a lot the same. But it sucks that she's gone. Honestly, I think that they're like, yeah, we're doing all these collections. Like, yeah, we don't know what to fucking do with the franchise. The creator kind of got deleted from history after, or not the creator, but the big guy who managed the franchise kind of got deleted from history.
But yeah, so I guess we'll see
his own actions.
We'll see some of these ports, and then they'll go from there. Which they might just keep going with the Rise team and do something else.
Give me Abyss. Give me Abyss and dub the fucking skits. I went and checked the fucking cast of that game. Nobody canceled is in the cast. You could get them back to do the skits. Although I don't think Yuri Lowenthal would be answering your calls, but he might.
He might. Some of those voice actors are
Troy
like,
Baker,
I don't care how little you pay me, I'm coming back. I love that character.
I mean, Troy Baker has been like, yeah, I don't like Troy Baker's like, yeah, people just don't ask me to do anime anymore. I went and did Baki for Netflix.
Why won't you let me be anime? Let me in. We got to move on.
Yeah.
We got to move on. My Sims Cozy Bundle features My Sims and My Sims Kingdom. That's coming out November 19th. Because this year didn't have enough new games.
We got more bundles.
We need two old games bundled. This is crazy. We're getting bundles of games I didn't know existed.
Yeah, I can't believe that they're bringing back My Sims of all things. This was a DS Sims game.
And it's DS core. This is the exact thing where it's like the DS is going to be in the hands of 150 million people. We got to get casual games out here. Oh, is it Wii? This is the Wii version.
Oh, these are the Wii versions?
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know they did Wii.
That makes any level of sense. Because I'm sitting there and I'm just like, who the fuck's going to buy two DS games bundled together? What sort of jackass would buy a collection of DS games?
I'm sure they're very different from any other sim game, so this is a very unique experience.
Yeah, I actually wish we had more modern reps for like really old, bizarre Sims spin-offs, like the PS2 ones and shit. Like I'm seeing in chat, Sims Herbs.
Yeah. I believe the Herbs was oh no, that wasn't the sequel. That was just another portable one.
Yeah,
for the thing.
That was a later one. Sims, like the PS2 Sims, is not the normal
Sims.
Not.
It's a very different game.
It's a very different game, and good lord. Anyway, moving on. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 this holiday. That's a weird title.
Yeah, definitely.
Rune Factory Guardians of Ozma was shown and has a title and looks done at all.
Right, instead of whatever they showed last year.
The Marvelous Showcase. I think that was earlier this year, wasn't it?
Was it? I feel like that was last year's Marvelous Showcase.
Maybe that was last year. Anyways, this is the Rune Factory. That's all Durgans. You got your Dirt Durgan, you got your Fur Durgan. It's Japanese theme. It's the dirty one. You use sacred artifacts instead of plebeian farm tools. For example, you have this drum that makes crops grow faster and a parasol that waters them. It's completely different. Comes out spring 2025. It's also coming to PC. Guess which version I'm getting.
Yeah, they didn't announce any other platforms, so it's just PC and Switch for the time being.
If I remember correctly, that's also how Room Factory 5 shipped.
I wonder if the Switch 2 will be out by then. That'd be pretty cool.
By spring 2025? Gonna be down to the last second.
Right?
Nintendo goes insane. It just goes, we're shipping this year! It's like an N64 situation. There's one launch title. Mario 128.
I couldn't. This next thing is what they ended on, and they acted like it was really big.
The
and
next thing's our last showcase, and it's a big one. And it's like playing the doo-ba-doo-doo-boo-boo. And I'm like, it better not be Scrunt. And they're like, Scrunt Kiwami.
Yeah, this is weird. Like, this, first of all, it's bizarre to do Kiwami. Why Kiwami?
Yeah, I don't know why it wouldn't be 0 or something instead of just Kiwami 1.
Yakuza Kiwami is where you... Kiwami is the one of the cheapest games I've ever played. Like,
it's all they could get running on the Switch.
But it uses the exact same fucking engine as 0.
It doesn't...
It has the same combat system and uses mostly the same models.
It doesn't
and the same
use,
city map.
As far as people were telling me, it doesn't use the same engine. I think 0's on the Dragon engine. One of them...
No, it isn't. 6 is the first Dragon Engine game.
Okay. How many of these do you think we're getting on the Switch?
I assume all of them. Well, not the Switch. On the Switch 2, we're getting all of them.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like this is all we're getting on regular Switch.
I bet we get one more than we want.
We already did that.
Why not, why not start with 0? 0's supposed to be the first...
0 is when it became popular in the States, too. So it's like...
Well... Like, it's so fucking weird.
People are saying it's launching the same day as the Amazon show? Is that... Do we have a date on the Amazon show? That's October 24th?
Well, they made a big fucking deal about how they like, the people who made the Amazon show didn't know anything about the series, so what does it matter? They should have just done 0.
They thought they were getting a Fallout, but they're getting a Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, they are.
They're not even getting a Cowboy Bebop. They're getting a Yu Yu Hakusho.
I'd take that over.
I'm pretty sure it's just another. Yeah, we paid for the Japanese thing.
Right, but in that way, it'd be better than Cowboy Bebop. But I feel like it's going to be Yu Yu Hakusho with more Cowboy Bebop energy. We have no idea what these characters are.
Very excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Aggro,
you seem to have asked for them to make a Cowboy Bebop.
Aggro, you've never played Yakuza, right?
Correct.
I've only played Yakuza 8, meaning this show will likely be completely irrelevant to my history with the franchise. Bob and Chris, have you played every fucking Yakuza?
No.
I have played every single one, but I have not played the PSP ones that were never localized.
Yeah.
I did not play Kenzan, the PS3 one where you are Miyamoto
Samurai.
Musashi.
Mm-hmm.
But I have played, and I haven't played Infinite Wealth yet, but I played every other single game in the series.
Bob, which ones have you not played? Because I know Infinite Wealth you played a bit of.
Yeah, I was like, it's easier to list the ones I have played because there's a ton.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
I played a good chunk of the original release Yakuza 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I played probably half of that game. Played all of 2.
Yeah. Well, let me be clear. I played the original versions of all of these as well as, like, I played original 1 and 2 and Kiwami 1 and 2 and 3 through 5 on PS3, not just the remastered versions. Like, I played the original releases of all English released ones.
Okay, so start the list again, Bob?
Most of 1, all of 2, a tiny bit of 3 and 4. I played demos of those.
Okay.
And then the next actual one I played the full release of was Yakuza 0 and the Judgment 1 2.
Okay.
Which I didn't finish any of those. So the only Yakuza game I finished is Yakuza 2.
Wow.
So I feel like I'd have pretty good understanding of the characters that would be in that series.
Yeah, a little bit.
And probably enough to be pretty upset.
It's okay. In a Like a Dragon 8, extremely mild spoilers for it, but you have moments as Kiryu where you go around and reminisce the past, and it's really funny anytime he does the Kenzan stuff, and he's like, I had a weird dream where I was a samurai.
What?
That's funny.
Then
That's
I split
great.
a castle. What the hell was that? What a weird dream. And he gets a stat buff from you finding these things to reminisce upon.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So anyways, I'm prepared.
Looking into this Amazon show, it's exactly like the Yu Yu Hakusho thing, where it's just like, we funded a Japanese production, so it will be bad in exactly the same way as Yu Yu Hakusho or Full Metal Alchemist or any of these other things. Or maybe it will somehow be good. Pattern recognition says no, though.
And that was it for the North American Nintendo Direct. Hey, Bob, did we have anything noteworthy happen at the Japanese Nintendo Direct?
Tokamiki Memorial forever with you emotional.
It's the first Tokameki Memorial game, but it's remastered. We still don't know if we're getting it. And I'm so full of despair. Why?
Yeah, you can switch between retro and new graphics. They like drew all the characters, and they were pretty authentic to the designs. Like, they aren't like the 2024 version of this character. It's like, no, it is trying to look like a 90s anime character.
Why are we not getting it? It's 2024. You have to know, right?
Right? This is a legendary series. This would be a perfect time to bring it over.
It is an important moment in the fucking genre.
Like, we've started to get these really old games that I would never have, like, if the game's more than like 5 years old, I would never expect it to get a localization. But we're starting to get that. So it feels like this is the time for somebody to just take the plunge and be like, hey, modern game development is so insanely expensive. The work it would take to bring this over, not that much in comparison.
I mean, we're getting Fate Stay Night here. Translated.
Yeah, we're getting Fate Stay Night. We already got that. We're getting like its spin-offs. We got Tsukihime. We got that Marl collection that came out earlier this year. Maybe it was last year, where it's like, here's these 2 PS2 games that we just never localized. We even dubbed them.
So anyway,
it's time.
If you're in Japan, it's out in 2025 sometime. And if you're elsewhere, get fucked.
Yeah, we get Ace Attorney Investigations 2 finally.
Better start studying Japanese.
I've had multiple people say, like, once you get to a certain level of Japanese, Tokimeki is the best way to learn to get from N3 to N4 is what people told me.
Oh my god, that's great.
Yeah, I've been seeing that go around on Twitter as well. Yeah. But I want to improve my English. Why won't they localize it? My English is so bad. If only they brought over Tokamemo. Damn it.
All right, and this is, of course, from the legend, Igarashi.
Koji Igarashi. Iga from the... No, it's true. It's true. People don't realize this motherfucker. He's so powerful. Anyways, that's it for this episode of Big Think Dimension and the Direct. I'm not sure. Some things came up at the last minute. We may not be able to stream tomorrow. That will be up in the air. Chris, when is your fucking build stream of
Sunday, September 1st?
Cool. I'm very excited for you to stream a racist video game. Do you think he says Bob, do you think this character would say cowabunga?
Yeah, for sure. He'd probably say something racist right after it.
Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode of Big Think Dimension. We will see you all next time. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. Big Think Dimension is only possible because of you and your support over at patreon.com/GBpodcast, where you can get early access to Pokemon Go to the Movies, early access to Chugging Bleach, exclusive access to Armchair Devs Extra and Gamer Premonitions Extra, and exclusive access to the movie Isolation 119. That's
patreon.com/gbpodcasts.